Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a serene, still lake, the surface smooth like glass, reflecting the boundless sky above. In that stillness, feel the pulse of the universe, gentle and constant as it flows through every drop of water. You see, my dear one, you were once in tune with this flow, a part of this eternal current. But somewhere along the way, the world may have taught you to forget the power within you. Today I invite you to remember that you are made of the same sacred waters that carry life and dreams to their fullest expression. As we embark on this journey together, let the waters of the world awaken the power that resides within you. Today we shall speak of the water manifestation technique, a method as ancient as the earth itself, one that calls upon the flow of the universe to bring forth your deepest desires. Now feel the energy of the water, for it speaks to those who listen, to those who are ready to receive. Are you ready to manifest your desires with the clarity and purity of water? Now let us turn our attention to the sacred nature of water itself. Water is not merely a physical element, but a divine conduit, a medium that bridges the seen and the unseen. You see, water is life. It nurtures, it cleanses, and it transforms. This is no accident. In the grand design of the universe, water has always been the substance through which the unseen forces of creation move and take form. It flows, not in haste, but in divine rhythm, mirroring the flow of the very energy that courses through you. Water is alive, my friends. It holds memories, it responds to your energy, and it listens to your thoughts. This ancient wisdom is known by the soul, even if the mind may have forgotten. Think of the way water moves in the oceans, rising and falling, finding its way to wherever it is meant to go. It's not forced, it doesn't struggle, it simply flows. And so too must your desires flow with ease, with trust and with surrender. As we stand on the brink of manifesting our deepest desires, let us remember that water is here to teach us the most important lesson. The power to manifest is not in the force of our will, but in our ability to flow harmoniously with the universe. When you align yourself with this flow, when you release the resistance and surrender to the infinite possibilities before you, the universe moves in response. In the quiet and calm of water, there is a reflection of your own inner state. As you look into a still pond, you see not only the world around you, but the world within you. The water holds your reflection, reminding you of your own infinite potential. And just as water cleanses and purifies, it can also carry the seeds of your desires into the vast ocean of possibility. Now with that knowing, let us step deeper into the understanding of how water connects us to our subconscious, to the part of us that is most attuned to the vibration of manifestation. When we work with water, we are not just using it as a physical substance, we are communing with the very forces of creation that are in us and around us, always waiting to help bring our desires into being. Water, as we now understand, holds the power of creation. But where does this creation begin? It begins within you, in your subconscious mind, that sacred space where your true desires lie. And this brings us to the second key, the connection between water and the subconscious mind. As we move deeper into the magic of water, let us now turn inward, to the most sacred space within us, our subconscious mind. Water in all its fluidity speaks directly to this hidden realm, the part of us that holds our deepest truths, desires, and dreams. You see, our subconscious is like an ocean, vast, mysterious, and brimming with untapped potential. It is here that the seeds of all our desires are planted, nurtured, and eventually brought into fruition. But often we are not fully aware of the power we have within this hidden realm, and we forget that we can harness it to shape the life we wish to create. When you work with water, you are not simply setting an intention with your conscious mind, but you are inviting the subconscious to align with your desires. Water has this unique ability to absorb and amplify vibrations. Think of how water flows, easily and effortlessly, carrying the energy of whatever it touches. When you speak your desires over water, you are essentially programming it, infusing it with your intent, your hope, and your vision. As you do this, the water carries these frequencies into your subconscious mind, aligning your inner world with the outer world of manifestation. The beauty of water is that it is a mirror to the subconscious. It reflects what is within. If your thoughts and intentions are pure, if they are clear and in alignment with your true desires, the water magnifies these thoughts and sends them forth with great power. But if doubt or fear lingers in your heart, water reflects that too. It is essential then that as we work with water, we purify our intentions. We must be clear, unwavering in our belief, and deeply connected to the vision of what we wish to bring forth. This technique, you see, is not just about the water itself, but about becoming aware of the power we already hold within our subconscious. Water is the medium, the sacred vessel, through which we can connect to that inner power. And when we begin to align our conscious thoughts with the desires of our subconscious, we unlock a force far greater than we can imagine. Now, with this understanding of how water speaks to our subconscious, let us move forward, knowing that we are not just sending out wishes to the universe. We are aligning our entire being with the flow of creation itself, allowing the infinite power of the subconscious to work with us, for us, and through us. Now that we have awakened to the power of water and its connection to the subconscious, we are ready to take the next step in this process, the power of setting pure, clear intentions, and the transformative role they play in bringing our desires into the physical realm. Now that we have awakened to the power of water and its connection to the subconscious, we must move to the next sacred step, the act of setting pure and clear intentions. You see, the universe responds to clarity. It responds to the energy you send out, and that energy is only as strong as the purity of your desire. When you approach water with a focused heart, free from confusion and doubt, your intention becomes like a beacon of light, guiding the universe toward the manifestation of your dreams. Water is responsive, and when you set your intentions with gratitude, as if they are already manifest, it magnifies the energy. The universe does not hear words, it feels the vibrations behind them. Speak to the water as though you are already living your desire, as if it is already part of your reality. Feel the joy, the peace, the abundance as it flows into your life. This is how you align with the highest frequency, the frequency of manifestation. In this moment, let go of the fear, the doubts, and the uncertainty. Your desires are worthy of being fulfilled, and the water can carry them to their rightful place, but only when your intentions are pure and unwavering. Set your intention and release it into the water, trusting that the universe will respond. The more pure and clear your desire, the faster and more precisely it will be manifested. And as your intention moves through the water, remember this: to manifest is not to force, but to allow your desires to flow naturally, just as water flows down a stream, carving its path with ease, grace, and patience. Allow the universe to guide your desires into being. Now, having set your clear intentions, let us look toward the sacred role of flow. for it is the flow of life that will carry us toward our desires. Water moves with such ease, never fighting against the current, always flowing toward its destination, trusting the divine timing of the universe. When we align ourselves with this flow, when we release the need to control every outcome, our desires manifest effortlessly. Just as water flows, so must we. We must release the resistance, surrendering control, and trusting that all things are coming to us in the perfect time and in the perfect way. Water reminds us that manifestation is not a forceful act. It is an act of alignment and trust. As you pour your intentions into the water, trust that the current will carry them to you. The universe is always working in your favor, and when you step into the flow, you open the door for abundance to enter. And so as we begin to understand the power of surrender, let us also reflect on the visualization process, the sacred practice of seeing our desires as already manifest, and how this powerful tool can create a deep connection between us and the energy we wish to bring into our lives. Now that we understand the power of setting pure intentions and trusting the flow, we come to the practice of visualization, a practice so profound that it bridges the seen and the unseen, aligning us with our deepest desires. Let us explore how visualization works through water and the sacred act of seeing our dreams in vivid detail. Now we move into one of the most powerful practices in manifestation, the art of visualization through water. When you hold water in your hands, it becomes more than just a physical substance. It becomes a canvas for your dreams. As you gaze into the water, imagine your desires taking form. Picture them clearly, vividly, as if they are already part of your life. Visualize your desires not as distant dreams but as present realities. See the details, the emotions, the people, the places, the feelings, as if they are happening in this very moment. The water reflects back to you the energy you place into it. When you visualize your desires through the water, you are infusing it with the energy of your dreams. The water then carries this energy to your subconscious, amplifying the signal and sending it out into the universe. It becomes a vehicle for your wishes, a bridge between your inner vision and your outer reality. As you hold the water, close your eyes and let yourself feel the emotions of your manifestation as if it has already been realized. Let your heart fill with gratitude, with joy, with the knowing that this is already yours. The more you can embody the feeling of already having what you desire, the more quickly it will manifest in your reality. Water amplifies that energy, flowing through you and into the universe. And so, my friends, in this moment, visualize your deepest desires with every fiber of your being. See them clearly, feel them deeply, and know that the water in your hands is carrying them into the very fabric of the universe. Your dreams are already on their way to you. Now as the visualization process begins to take root, let us reflect on the sacred cycle of water. The way it flows is transformed and returns to its source. Just as water moves through the natural cycle of evaporation, condensation, and precipitation, so too does our manifestation journey follow a cycle. This is where trust and patience come into play. You must trust that the universe is working behind the scenes, even if you cannot see the full picture yet. Just as water evaporates into the air before it rains, your desires may take time to fully materialize. But in that waiting, the cycle is working. And so we surrender to the process, knowing that our desires are on their way, even as they move through unseen forces. Trust the journey, trust the timing, and trust that just as the rain eventually falls, your desires will come to you at the perfect moment. Everything is in divine order. Now with this understanding of the water cycle and the trust it requires, let us speak about the power of gratitude. Gratitude is a key element in this process, for it magnifies the energy of manifestation and brings us into alignment with the universe's abundant flow. As we understand the role of trust and surrender in manifestation, we move into the transformative power of gratitude. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the full potential of your desires, amplifying the energy of the water and the manifestation process. Let us explore how this sacred practice works in harmony with water to bring your desires into full bloom. Now we step into one of the most powerful and transformative forces in the universe, gratitude. Gratitude is not merely a polite gesture, it is a magnetic force that attracts abundance into your life. When you work with water to manifest your desires, gratitude becomes the key that unlocks the floodgates of the universe. As you hold the water and focus on your desires, express your gratitude as if your manifestation has already come to pass. Say thank you for the blessings that are already on their way to you, even if they have not yet fully materialized. Gratitude is a vibration, a high-frequency energy that connects you to the source of all creation. When you speak your desires over water with a heart full of gratitude, you are aligning yourself with the frequency of abundance. You are sending a signal to the universe that you trust in its timing, that you are open to receiving, and that you are thankful for the flow of blessings that are already making their way to you. The act of expressing gratitude while working with water amplifies the energy of your intentions. Imagine for a moment that you are holding a crystal clear glass of water in your hands. You can feel its coolness, its fluidity, and its infinite potential. As you say thank you, feel the emotion of gratitude fill you completely. Thank you for the abundance. Thank you for the health. Thank you for the love and success that are already flowing towards you. In this moment you are not waiting for your desires to show up. You are embracing them with a heart full of joy and appreciation, knowing they are already here. And as the water absorbs your gratitude, it sends this powerful signal to the universe, multiplying your desires and expanding your energy to receive even more. Water amplifies the vibration of gratitude, creating a ripple effect that spreads throughout your life. It is as if the universe is responding to your energy, matching the vibration you send out, and bringing your desires into being. Now that we understand the power of gratitude, we must also recognize the healing and cleansing nature of water. Just as water nourishes and sustains the body, it also cleanses and purifies the spirit. Manifestation requires clarity, a clear mind, a pure heart, and an open spirit. Water helps to wash away any doubts, fears, or limiting beliefs that might stand in the way of your desires. When you drink the water or use it in your practice, imagine it cleansing you, washing away all negativity, all resistance, and all that no longer serves you. Let it clear your energy field, creating space for your dreams to enter. Just as water purifies and refreshes the body, it also refreshes your soul, helping you step into the highest version of yourself, aligned with the flow of the universe. Now that we've understood the purifying and healing power of gratitude, let's move into the next stage, understanding how the ripple effect of your desires can spread far beyond what you can see. Just as a drop of water creates ripples across the surface, so too does your manifestation begin to influence the world around you in ways you may not yet realize. As we reflect on the power of gratitude and the healing properties of water, we now come to a profound truth. Just as a single drop of water creates ripples across a vast surface, so does every intention you set, every desire you manifest, create an energetic ripple that extends far beyond your immediate surroundings. This is the ripple effect of your desires. Each time you send your intention into the water, whether through spoken words, thoughts, or feelings, you are sending out a vibration into the universe. This vibration reaches farther than you may realize, influencing not only your life, but also the lives of those around you, and even the world at large. When you manifest your desires, you are part of a much larger picture, a greater flow that connects all things. You are not separate from the world. You are an integral part of it. Water teaches us this truth. Think about how the waves in the ocean, though far from their origin, are all connected to the same body of water. Similarly, the energy you send out is not limited by time, space, or distance. It touches everything and everyone, and as you manifest your desires, the ripple effect begins to alter your environment. Opportunities, people, and situations that align with your desires will come to you in ways you cannot yet comprehend. When you understand the ripple effect, you begin to see that manifestation is not just about you, it's about the flow of energy you contribute to the world. Your desires are not only for you but for the collective good, as they create a positive vibration that can uplift others and bring more light and abundance into the world. As you work with water, know that every time you send out a clear, focused intention, it creates ripples that return to you in divine timing. Just as water always finds its way back to the earth, so too will your desires return to you, multiplied and magnified, flowing in harmony with the universe. Now let us reflect on the infinite nature of water and the infinite possibilities it represents. Water is never-ending. It flows continuously, replenishing, renewing, and transforming. It is a perfect reflection of the abundant nature of the universe, and just as there is an endless supply of water on this earth, so too is there an endless supply of abundance, love, and opportunity available to you. There are no limits to what you can manifest when you align yourself with this infinite flow. When you begin to believe in the infinite nature of your desires, you unlock the truth that there is no scarcity, only abundance. Water reminds us of this profound truth. There is always enough. As you pour your intentions into the water, know that the universe has an infinite supply of everything you desire. You are not asking for too much. You are simply aligning with the boundless energy of the universe and opening yourself to receive all that is meant for you. Now that we've come to understand the infinite nature of water and its connection to the abundance of the universe, let us reflect on how this infinite flow of energy is always working in your favor, how the universe is continuously responding to you, even when you cannot yet see the results. This brings us to the importance of patience and trust in the manifestation process. As we step into the understanding of the infinite nature of water, we must now speak of one of the most essential principles of manifestation, patience. Water in its divine flow does not rush. It moves at the pace that is right for the universe. Just as a river meanders toward its destination, it does so with calm assurance, trusting that the journey is as important as the destination itself. And so must you trust in the process of your manifestation. You see, just as water flows in its natural cycle, moving through evaporation, condensation, and precipitation, your desires too must flow through their own cycle. You might not always see the results immediately, but that does not mean they are not coming. Trust that every intention you send out is being received, and the universe is already aligning the circumstances, the people, and the opportunities needed to bring your desires into physical form. In the same way that you wouldn't demand the ocean to rise instantly, you must trust in the divine timing of your manifestation. The water in its patience shows you that all things are unfolding in their perfect time. Trust that your desires are being shaped in the unseen, just as a seed is growing beneath the soil before it reaches the surface. The process of manifestation may require time, but every moment is leading you closer to your dreams. Patience, therefore, is not about waiting passively. It is about aligning yourself with the flow of the universe, knowing that what is meant for you will come in its right time. When you trust the journey, when you surrender to the process, you create space for your desires to arrive with ease and grace. You allow the water to carry your intentions to their rightful place without resistance. Now, with this understanding of patience, we must also understand the role of trust in the manifestation process. Trust is the foundation of all creation. Water teaches us to trust the flow, to let go of our need to control, and to surrender to the natural unfolding of our dreams. Just as water does not question its course, you must trust that the universe has already set everything in motion for your highest good. When you trust, you release the tension and the doubt. You let go of the how and the when, knowing that the universe will orchestrate everything in divine timing. Just as water moves effortlessly, you too must allow your desires to move toward you with ease, free from fear and control. Trust that the universe is always working in your favor, and that everything is unfolding perfectly. And as you trust, remember to celebrate the small moments along the way. Every step you take, every intention you set is a victory. Gratitude and trust go hand in hand. When you trust in the process and celebrate the journey, you are amplifying the energy of manifestation, drawing your desires ever closer. Now that we understand the role of patience and trust in manifestation, let us turn our attention to how gratitude plays an even greater role in helping to manifest our desires, and how we can continue to build momentum in our journey towards the fulfillment of all that we have envisioned. As we reflect on the importance of patience and trust in our manifestation process, we now turn to the essential power of gratitude, an energy that not only strengthens the connection between you and the universe, but also amplifies your desires, bringing them into your reality at a pace that feels both natural and effortless. Gratitude, when practiced deeply, has the power to transform your thoughts, your feelings, and your manifestations. When you feel gratitude in your heart, you align yourself with the energy of abundance. This is why when you work with water, it is so vital to infuse your intentions with gratitude. When you express thanks, even before the manifestation fully arrives, you are sending a message to the universe that you already recognize the flow of abundance, and that you trust in the gifts that are coming to you. Think about how water reflects light. The clearer the water, the brighter the light that can shine through it. Similarly, the more gratitude you express, the clearer and more potent the energy of your manifestations becomes. Gratitude opens the heart and softens the mind, allowing you to receive more fully. It creates a magnetic pull that draws your desires closer, inviting more blessings into your life. When you drink the water, or place it in your hands as part of your manifestation ritual, let your heart be flooded with gratitude. Thank the water for carrying your intentions, for amplifying your desires, and for guiding them toward their divine fulfillment. In this practice, you are not simply sending out wishes to the universe. You are recognizing the universe's response, even before it fully takes form in your life. This gratitude acts as a signal to the universe that you are already a vibrational match to your desires, and that you are ready to receive them. Gratitude is also a healer. It heals the space between what you desire and what you believe you deserve. When you feel gratitude, you raise your frequency to match that of your desires. You stop seeing them as distant dreams and begin to see them as your current reality. The more you practice gratitude, the more your manifestation will flow easily toward you, as the universe can now respond to you with the same energy that you are emitting. Remember that gratitude is not just about saying thank you, it is about feeling it deeply, in every fiber of your being. When you do this, you align with the highest flow of energy, and your manifestations will no longer feel like a struggle. They will feel natural, as though they are already on their way, because in truth they are. As water moves toward its natural destination, so too will your desires, when they are carried by the sacred force of gratitude. As we recognize the power of gratitude, let us also understand the importance of cleansing and purifying ourselves in this process. Just as water cleanses the body, it also clears away anything that stands in the way of your highest good. With water, we have the ability to cleanse ourselves of doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs that block the flow of manifestation. This cleansing opens up space for our desires to enter, creating room for abundance and joy. Now that we've reflected on the transformative power of gratitude, let us understand how water not only cleanses and purifies but also prepares us to receive all that we've asked for. Let us explore how the act of purification through both water and our own energy clears the path for manifestation to come with ease and grace. As we move forward into the process of cleansing and purifying with water, we must understand that this is not just about physical cleanliness, but about spiritual and energetic purification. Water, in its sacred form, acts as a purifier, not only of the body but also of the mind and spirit. Just as water washes away physical dirt, it can also cleanse your thoughts, emotions, and energy field, creating the perfect space for your desires to manifest. When we work with water in this way, we invite it to wash away the doubts, fears, and negative beliefs that have accumulated over time. These are the obstacles that prevent the smooth flow of energy and hinder the manifestation process. Water helps dissolve these blockages, clearing your path and allowing your desires to flow freely into your life. Just as water naturally finds the path of least resistance, so too will your desires move toward you with ease once you've cleared away the resistance within yourself. To begin this process of purification, start by simply drinking water with intention. As you drink, imagine it washing through your body, cleansing every cell and every thought. Visualize the water dissolving old fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs, leaving only a clear, open channel for your desires. Feel the energy shift as you let go of any negativity or resistance, knowing that you are creating space for abundance, joy, and fulfillment to flow into your life. Another powerful way to purify yourself with water is through bathing or showering. As the water touches your skin, imagine it cleansing not only your body but also your energy field, washing away any negativity, stress, or emotional baggage you may have been carrying. Let the water soothe your mind and spirit, bringing you back to a state of balance and harmony. With each drop that touches you, know that you are being renewed, that you are making space for the highest vibrations of manifestation to enter. Purification with water is also about clearing your intentions. If your mind is cluttered with confusion or doubt, your manifestations will be clouded. But when you purify your thoughts, aligning them with your highest good, your desires become clear and focused. Water helps to bring that clarity, washing away the unnecessary and leaving only what is truly important, the vision of your dreams, pure and unclouded. As you purify yourself with water, trust that the universe is aligning everything for your highest good. Just as the water transforms from liquid to vapor to rain, so too will your desires transform, moving through the unseen realms before taking form in the physical world. This process of purification ensures that your desires are not tainted by fear, doubt, or limiting beliefs, allowing them to manifest in their purest, most aligned form. Now that we have cleansed ourselves with the power of water, let us recognize the importance of allowing our desires to manifest. Just as water flows without resistance, we must learn to allow our desires to come to us, trusting that the universe is guiding them to us at the perfect time. Now that we've purified ourselves and cleared the path for our desires, we must embrace the practice of allowing the sacred art of receiving what is already on its way to you. Just as water flows without hesitation, so too must we flow with the process of manifestation, welcoming our desires with an open heart and trust in the universe's perfect timing. As we arrive at the final step of this sacred process, understanding the infinite nature of water and how it reflects the abundance of the universe, it is time to remember a powerful truth: there is no limit to the good that can come into your life. Water in all its forms flows without end, never running out, always replenishing itself, just as the universe replenishes the flow of abundance, love, and opportunity to you. Just as the ocean is vast and never exhausted, so too is the supply of all that you desire. This is the divine law of the universe. There is always enough. There is always more than enough love, wealth, joy, health, and success available to you. The more you align with this truth, the more you will begin to see the infinite possibilities unfold before you. Water teaches us that abundance is not limited by time or space. It is limitless, flowing endlessly, and available to all who are willing to receive. When you embrace the infinite nature of your desires, you unlock the door to unlimited potential. Your dreams are not confined by your past experiences or the limitations of your mind. The universe has an endless supply of everything you seek, and as you step into this infinite flow, you begin to experience manifestation without boundaries. Remember, just as water never runs dry, your desires are always flowing toward you. Trust in the infinite abundance of the universe. Know that you are worthy of receiving all that you seek, and that there is no limit to the blessings that are available to you. Now, as we close this sacred journey, let us affirm the truth of who we are and the power we hold within. Let these words resonate deeply within you, for they are the energy of creation itself. I am a limitless being, and I am worthy of all the abundance the universe has to offer. I trust in the infinite flow of life, and know that my desires are always flowing toward me. I am in perfect harmony with the universe, and my desires manifest with ease and grace. I release all resistance and surrender to the divine timing of the universe. I am grateful for the abundance that flows into my life, and I welcome more with an open heart. I trust that all things are working together for my highest good, and I am aligned with the flow of infinite possibilities. Like water, my desires flow effortlessly to me, and I receive them with joy, gratitude, and love. Feel these affirmations resonate deep within your soul. Know that you are connected to the infinite flow of the universe, and your desires are already on their way to you. Trust in the process, and allow the waters of manifestation to carry your dreams to their perfect destination. And so it is. With this, your spiritual journey into manifestation through the power of water is complete. Trust in the flow, stay aligned with your desires, and know that the universe is always conspiring in your favor. You are one with the endless infinite flow of life and abundance.
Beloved, life is not a struggle, it is a game. And in this game, the rules are simple: what you think, you bring; what you affirm, you attract; what you believe, you create. Words are your wands, thoughts are your tools, and imagination is the sacred brush painting the canvas of your destiny. Every word you utter is a seed, planted deep within the fertile soil of the unseen. Every affirmation you declare is a decree written in the great book of life. Manifestation is not a labor of years. It is the instant recognition of divine law. There is no delay in spirit. Delay is only the illusion of the mortal mind, doubting, questioning, hesitating. But the instant you align thought with faith, word with conviction, and desire with divine order, results come with speed that astonishes. What once seemed far off now appears at your doorstep. What once seemed impossible now rises, solid and secure, before your very eyes. When you affirm, you claim your inheritance. You are not pleading. You are not begging. You are declaring what already is. You are tuning your being to the rhythm of the infinite, and when you do, doors fly open, obstacles vanish, and what is yours rushes to you in perfect timing. The spirit within you knows no lack, no limit, no obstacle. The spirit within you is the key that turns every lock. To manifest 110 times faster, you must speak as one who already possesses. To affirm with 110% guarantee, you must know the law and stand unshaken upon it. Say to yourself, there is no delay in divine mind. My good appears now. That which I seek is already seeking me. The way is prepared, the supply is endless, the answer is mine. Speak these words not as a wish, but as a decree. Speak them as truth. Speak them as law. Remember, doubt is the thief. Fear is the robber, hesitation is the wall. But faith is the sword, affirmation is the key, and divine certainty is the open door. Each time you affirm with joy and conviction, you set into motion unseen forces. Each time you declare your good, invisible hands arrange the details, bringing all things into harmony for your highest good. The universe does not measure time as mortals do. The universe answers the word spoken with power, the thought wrapped in faith, the affirmation charged with fire. Say it, believe it, and let it go, knowing it is done. Then watch as your manifestation speeds toward you, not slowly, not someday, but now swiftly, with precision and perfection. Therefore, let your words be golden keys. Let your affirmations be royal decrees. Let your manifestations be swift testimonies of the divine law at work in your life. For when you claim your good, it is already yours. When you declare your wealth, health, love, and success, it rushes to you with certainty. When you align with divine order, nothing can keep from you what belongs to you by right of consciousness. Words are wands of creation, and with every syllable spoken, every whisper uttered, every declaration proclaimed, you are shaping the invisible substance of life into form. The spoken word carries weight beyond the reach of human sight. It is not idle sound, it is vibration, and vibration is power. The universe itself is composed of rhythm, tone, and sound. To speak is to command, to affirm is to direct, and to declare is to mold the unseen into the seen. A careless word scatters, a fearful word binds, a doubtful word delays. But a word spoken with authority, faith, and conviction plants itself in the fertile ground of spirit and springs forth in due season. There is no empty word, for each word is charged with the energy of belief behind it. When you speak, you set laws into motion. Invisible currents move at your command, rearranging circumstances, drawing people, opening doors, and dissolving obstacles. If you would realize the speed and certainty with which your words work, you would guard them as treasure, you would polish them as jewels, and you would wield them with the precision of a master. Too often one speaks words of lack, and then wonders why lack appears. One complains of delay and sees only delay. One repeats fear and meets with fear. But the law is exact. Whatever you decree with your lips, believing, you will see with your eyes. The power of the word is magnified when spoken aloud. Thought is a silent seed, but speech is the watering of the seed with vibration. The moment the word leaves your lips, it leaves an imprint upon the ethers, and that imprint calls forth manifestation. This is why affirmations spoken with feeling carry immeasurable force. To murmur mechanically, without faith or energy, produces little change, but to speak with conviction, as though announcing truth to the universe, causes all invisible forces to bend in your favor. You are not merely speaking, you are commanding the unseen. Each word carries a tone, and tone creates resonance. A word spoken in anger carries a vibration that disturbs the field, attracting more anger and discord. A word spoken in love carries harmony, drawing back peace, joy, and healing. To know this is to hold the power of a magician, for you can shape your world by shaping your words. Words of complaint bring more reason to complain. Words of gratitude bring more to be grateful for. Words of faith open the gate to miracles. Words of fear build walls that keep good away. The ancients knew the power of the word. They spoke blessings, decrees, and chants, knowing that sound carried the vibration of creation. Sacred words repeated with faith shifted realities. This knowledge has never disappeared. It is simply hidden in plain sight, waiting for those who are ready to remember. You are one of those. The moment you choose to speak only words of power, your world rearranges itself to match the vibration you hold. You no longer drift upon circumstance. You command your ship upon the seas of life. It is not necessary to strain or to force. The power lies not in loudness, but in certainty. A quiet word spoken with unwavering belief is mightier than a shout filled with doubt. Speak as though you were pronouncing truth, not pleading for it. Declare your good as though it already belongs to you, for in truth it does. The law cannot deny a word spoken in alignment with divine certainty. Speak wealth and wealth takes form. Speak health and health flows. Speak success and doors swing wide. Speak love and love surrounds you. Guard your tongue, for it is the rudder of your destiny. With every word you either steer toward the harbor of your good or drift into the storms of your fear. The choice lies with you, moment by moment, phrase by phrase, declaration by declaration. You need not speak many words, but you must speak strong words. A single affirmation spoken with the authority of faith can dissolve mountains of doubt and bring swift manifestation. Words are the architects of your reality, and every spoken thought is a building block in the house of your life. Faith eliminates delay. For faith is the eternal now and the eternal yes. Delay is but the shadow cast by doubt, the illusion created when the human mind looks outward instead of upward. In truth, there is no delay in spirit. For all that you seek already exists in the unseen, waiting only for your unwavering recognition. The moment you release hesitation and clothe your desire with faith, the substance of things hoped for takes swift shape, and the unseen becomes seen. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, and once it is walked, time collapses and distance disappears. The human mind is prone to measuring, calculating, and postponing. It says, someday perhaps, if conditions allow. But faith speaks another language. Faith says, now here, already mine. Faith does not wait for outer signs to confirm. It declares and the signs rush forth to obey. Delay comes when one waits to see before believing, but faith believes and therefore sees. When you say with conviction, my good is here now, you tear down the wall of time and open the gate for instant demonstration. Every hesitation is a chain upon the manifestation of good. When the mind wonders if it is possible, the current is slowed. When the heart questions whether it deserves, the flow is blocked. When the lips speak doubt, the command is cancelled. But when the word is spoken with faith, the current of life rushes unobstructed. Faith is the swift current, doubt the dam. The stronger the faith, the swifter the manifestation. Faith is not blind, it is sight on a higher plane. It sees what mortal eyes cannot yet see, and in seeing, it calls it forth. To cultivate faith is to eliminate waiting. Many toil and labor, imagining they must push or strive. Yet they still delay their good because they do not believe it can come easily. Faith knows no toil. For faith understands that all things are already complete in divine mind. You need not struggle to make them real. You need only align with them in consciousness. The moment you accept them as yours in truth, they appear without delay. Faith is effortless knowing, not anxious hoping. Faith is calm certainty, not restless desire. When you walk in faith, you step into a timeless state. You cease to live in the tomorrow of your dreams and begin to live in the now of your fulfillment. Each time you affirm with faith, it is done, you plant yourself in the eternal present where manifestation is immediate. The illusion of waiting vanishes. For faith collapses all distance between cause and effect. That which once seemed far away comes rushing to meet you because in spirit, there is no separation, no waiting, no postponement. Delay is an appearance, not a reality. Faith pierces the veil of appearances and calls forth the truth. Imagine a gardener planting a seed. If he doubts the soil, doubts the season, doubts the process, he digs it up again and again, and the sprout never appears. But if he trusts, knowing it is done, the seed grows in perfect time. Yet in the realm of spirit, time itself is pliable, and faith accelerates the season. Faith says the harvest is here, and behold, the harvest appears. Faith is the fire that burns away obstacles. Where there seems to be resistance, faith declares there is none. Where there appears to be lack, faith declares abundance. Where there looks to be delay, faith declares immediacy. The very act of declaring with faith dissolves the appearance and replaces it with truth. Each time you refuse to give attention to delay, and instead affirm the presence of your good, you train the mind to live in harmony with the law. Faith is the law of instant manifestation, and the law never fails when applied with certainty. Faith eliminates delay because it refuses to acknowledge delay. It sees beyond the senses, beyond appearances, beyond conditions. It knows that what you desire is already complete in the invisible, waiting for your acceptance. When you speak with faith, you do not ask, you declare. You do not hope, you know. You do not wait, you receive. The vibration of faith is irresistible, drawing to you what belongs to you with swift precision. The very air becomes charged with fulfillment, and circumstances rearrange themselves with astonishing speed. Affirmations are decrees, not wishes, for a wish is weak and uncertain, while a decree is law. A wish looks outward, hoping something may happen, pleading with chance, waiting on luck. A decree stands tall, clothed in authority, commanding the unseen to take form in the seen. The words of a wish carry no certainty. They drift like smoke and vanish. The words of a decree strike like lightning, charged with faith, establishing order, shaping substance, bringing forth that which is spoken. When you affirm, you are not begging, you are not asking, you are declaring truth into being. You are the sovereign of your world, and your affirmations are royal commands that must be obeyed. When you speak an affirmation, you are issuing a statement of what is, not what might be. The unseen does not respond to hesitation, it responds to certainty. To say, I hope I shall prosper, is to confess doubt, but to affirm, I am prosperity now, is to set prosperity into motion. The difference is vast. For the one who wishes leans on circumstances, while the one who decrees commands circumstances. The law of life responds to your tone, to the vibration of your words, and the decree carries the vibration of completion. A wish looks forward to the future, a decree announces the present. The one who affirms with authority collapses the distance between desire and fulfillment, speaking as though it already stands before the eyes. A decree is not timid, it is final. When a ruler speaks, there is no question of whether it will be done. So too with your words, when spoken in faith. To affirm is to stand in the authority of the divine within you. It is not personality that speaks, it is spirit declaring its own truth. Spirit does not plead, spirit does not doubt, spirit does not wait. Spirit says, I am, and so it is. When you affirm, I am health, I am love, I am wealth. You are not pretending, you are proclaiming. You are stating reality on the higher plane, which soon reshapes the lower. Every time you affirm, you impress the invisible. Each word etches itself upon the substance of life, and that substance molds itself to match your decree. If you speak affirmations weakly, as though asking, the impression is faint. If you speak with conviction, as though announcing law, the impression is deep and unshakable. This is why repetition with authority is powerful. Each decree strikes the same place until it is carved into form. Each affirmation spoken, as truth writes the law of your life anew. A wish waits to see before believing, but a decree believes and therefore sees. A wish is filled with longing, but longing only prolongs. A decree is filled with certainty, and certainty hastens manifestation. You need not know how it will appear, for the decree summons the unseen forces that arrange every detail. You need not labor or push, for the decree sets invisible currents in motion, gathering people, circumstances, and opportunities to bring forth your word. The decree is the seed, and the manifestation is the harvest. When you speak as though commanding the universe, you align with the authority that is already yours. Too many weaken their words with doubt, saying, I hope, I wish, I want. These phrases confess lack and delay. To affirm rightly is to strip away weakness and clothe your words with strength. I am, I have, it is done. Such words are the language of decrees. They are final, unmovable, irresistible. They leave no room for contradiction, and so contradiction fades away. The universe hears tone, not begging. It hears certainty, not uncertainty. To affirm is to vibrate with truth, and vibration calls to itself its equal. Say, I am love, with authority, and love appears. Say, I am abundance, with authority and abundance flows. Say, I am success, with authority, and success takes form. Do not say these as though they may be, say them as though they already are. That is the difference between wishing and decreeing. A wish waits, a decree commands. Doubt blocks, certainty unlocks, for doubt is the great thief of manifestation, and certainty is the golden key that opens every door. Doubt hesitates, questions, delays, and builds walls where there should be open pathways. Certainty clears the way, dissolves obstacles, and calls forth results with swiftness. The energy of doubt is heavy, tangled, and confused, while the energy of certainty is light, direct, and unstoppable. Every thought you think, and every word you speak is infused with one or the other, and the result is determined by which energy you hold. Doubt is born of fear, and fear is faith turned upside down. Fear imagines what it does not want and gives it power, while doubt whispers that the good desired cannot come or will take too long. Doubt attaches itself to the mind like a shadow, questioning every affirmation, pulling apart every decree, testing the ground with hesitation. It says, what if it doesn't happen? What if I am not worthy? What if this is impossible? These are the voices of delay, the barriers to manifestation. They are illusions. Yet illusions have strength when believed. To break them requires the firmness of certainty, the unshakable knowing that what is declared must appear. Certainty does not ask how, nor does it wait for proof. Certainty knows the unseen is already arranging itself. It stands calm, unwavering, and assured, declaring the end from the beginning. Where doubt builds walls, certainty builds bridges. Where doubt weakens words, certainty empowers them. When you affirm with doubt, you cancel your own command. When you affirm with certainty, the law moves instantly to fulfill it. The difference between the two is the difference between delay and demonstration. Imagine a key turning in a lock. If you hesitate, jiggle, and fumble, the door remains closed. But with a steady hand and full confidence, the lock yields at once. Certainty is that steady hand. It is the complete alignment of thought, word, and belief. When the affirmation is spoken with certainty, it is as though a decree has been carved into stone. The unseen cannot resist, for certainty vibrates with the frequency of truth, and truth always reveals itself. Doubt is a weight that binds energy, making manifestation sluggish and strained. Certainty is a release that frees energy, allowing manifestation to rush forward. Doubt says, someday maybe. Certainty says, now, already mine. Doubt clings and worries. Certainty lets go and trusts. Doubt builds tension in the heart. Certainty brings peace to the soul. And in that peace, creation is swift. The universe mirrors the vibration you hold. When you radiate doubt, the reflection you see is delay. When you radiate certainty, the reflection is fulfillment. Certainty does not mean straining or forcing. It is not stubborn insistence born of fear. It is quiet power, calm knowing, the stillness of faith. It is the deep recognition that the outcome is already secure, already present in the invisible, already on its way to the visible. With certainty, there is no need to check and measure, to worry or repeat anxiously. One declaration spoken with certainty carries more force than 1,000 words spoken with doubt. Certainty anchors the word so deeply that nothing can uproot it. Every time you affirm, you are either blocking or unlocking. If doubt lingers, the gate stays shut. If certainty reigns, the gate swings wide. To cultivate certainty, you must train the inner voice to silence doubt. Each time the mind whispers, "What if not?" replace it with "It is." Each time fear rises, counter it with truth. Certainty grows stronger each time it is chosen, until it becomes second nature, a constant state of being. When certainty is established, affirmations no longer feel like repetition, they feel like proclamation, and manifestation responds with speed. Doubt is a denial of your own power. Certainty is the embrace of it. Doubt speaks as though separated from the source, uncertain of connection, unworthy of good. Certainty speaks as one with the source, certain of supply, deserving of every blessing. Doubt hides in the language of, "I hope," and "maybe." Certainty shines in the language of, "I am," and "is done." Doubt lives in the future tense. Certainty lives in the eternal present. Doubt is noise, certainty is silence. Doubt is shadow, certainty is light. Divine timing is always now. For spirit does not live in the calendar of men, nor does it measure by clocks or seasons. In the realm of the infinite, there is no waiting, no postponement, no future delay. All that exists in the eternal present, and when consciousness aligns with this truth, manifestations unfold with immediacy. Time is an appearance, a construct of the human mind, created to order events, but spirit knows only now. To live in harmony with divine timing is to step out of the illusion of waiting and to recognize that your good is not on its way. It is already here. When you say, "Someday I will have," you push your desire further away, for the word someday never arrives. The law of manifestation responds only to the present. To say, "I have it now," is to declare reality as it is in the higher plane, and the higher plane reshapes the lower in response. The unseen holds your good in completeness, waiting only for your recognition. The instant you declare, "It is mine now," you open the floodgates. Delay is but doubt disguised as time. The eternal present has no gap between desire and fulfillment. Those who wait upon the future bind themselves to shadows. They say, "One conditions change when I have more, when the right moment arrives." Yet conditions shift in response to inner conviction, not the other way around. The right moment is always the moment you claim it. The supply is already given, the path is already clear, the door is already open. The only barrier is the belief that it is not yet so. To live in divine timing is to know that now is the only time, and in that knowing, the manifestation appears. The human mind loves to postpone. It says, "Next month I will prosper. Tomorrow I will be healed. One day I will find love." But Spirit says, "Now." Spirit does not prepare blessings as though they are yet to be created. Spirit already holds them in perfect order, complete, waiting only for acceptance. The moment you align with the vibration of now, the unseen rushes forward to mirror it. Affirming now is the secret of acceleration. To say, "I am," instead of "I will be," is to claim what is already yours. Consider the flower in the bud. To the human eye, it seems the bloom is waiting, but in spirit, the flower is complete. The unfolding is only the appearance of time. So too with your good. It is not becoming, it is. Faith sees beyond appearances and declares completion. Faith lives in the present, not in the future. Divine timing is not delay, it is immediate correspondence to consciousness. The moment you accept now, the bloom reveals itself. To anchor yourself in divine timing is to release anxiety about when or how. You no longer question the calendar, nor measure the hours. You stand in the eternal present, declaring, "It is done," and knowing it to be so. In this state, you are free from the bondage of waiting. Every affirmation carries the vibration of immediacy. Every word spoken resounds with fulfillment. Every thought held aligns with completion. The universe responds instantly to such alignment, for it knows no future, only presence. The mind of man often ties manifestation to processes and steps, believing that results must unfold slowly. Yet spirit is not bound by steps. Spirit leaps, shifts, and arranges all things in a moment. What appears to take months can occur in a day. What seems impossible can appear instantly. This is the nature of divine timing. It does not follow the slow rhythm of human expectation, it follows the eternal rhythm of now. The more you affirm the presence of your good in this moment, the swifter it appears in your experience. When you affirm, say it as present truth. I am supplied now. I am healed now. I am successful now. I am loved now. Do not wait for tomorrow to agree with your word. For tomorrow is only the extension of now. Every decree spoken in the present aligns you with the eternal present, and in that alignment, manifestation is immediate. Divine timing never postpones, never withholds, never delays. It always answers, and the answer is always now. Speak as though it is already done, for the word is not a description of what might be, it is the decree of what already is in spirit. The unseen responds to the vibration of finality, not to the tone of uncertainty. When you speak as if your desire is still far away, you push it further from you. When you speak as though it has already taken form, you draw it near with irresistible power. Every word spoken is a seed, and the seed produces after its own kind. To say, I will have, plants the seed of waiting, but to say, I have now, plants the seed of fulfillment. The law of life mirrors your tone, and the tone of completion brings swift results. Many weaken their affirmations by placing them in the future. They say, one day I will prosper. Someday I will be healed. In time, I will succeed. Such words confess lack, for they admit the good is not here. But to speak as though it is done is to claim ownership. I am prosperous now. I am healed now. I am successful now. The words ring with authority, for they carry the vibration of certainty. The unseen does not question, it obeys. It does not delay, it reflects. What is spoken as complete is completed. The secret is to speak not as a beggar, but as a ruler. The beggar pleads, hoping that something may come. The ruler commands, knowing that the decree cannot be denied. When you speak, you are not asking the universe to consider your request, you are declaring what Spirit has already provided. Spirit holds all things in readiness. Your affirmation is not a plea for creation, it is a recognition of completion. When you say, it is done, you align with the eternal present where all is already finished. Speaking as though it is already done does not mean pretending or forcing belief. It is not self-deception, it is spiritual recognition. On the higher plane, your desire exists in perfection. It is whole, complete, untouched by delay or resistance. By speaking as though it is here, you lift your consciousness to that plane and bring the unseen into the seen. You are not making something happen. You are allowing what already is to be revealed. Your word is the bridge that carries it across. The vibration of completion has a quality of calm. There is no strain in the words of one who knows. To say, it is done, with certainty is to rest in the truth of fulfillment. Anxiety dissolves. Fear vanishes, doubt falls away, for the word carries peace. The mind no longer asks, when will it come? For the heart knows it is here. That state of knowing is the magnet that draws your good swiftly. To speak as though it is already done is to stop chasing and to begin receiving. Every affirmation has two possible tones, the tone of lack or the tone of possession. The tone of lack weakens, the tone of possession strengthens. You must examine the way you speak, for the law hears not only the words but the spirit behind them. If you say, I am wealthy, but with a tone of longing, you are affirming absence. If you say, I am wealthy, with the calm certainty of completion, you are affirming presence. The unseen knows the difference and responds accordingly. Speak as one who owns, not as one who waits. This principle is not limited to words spoken aloud, for the silent words of thought carry the same power. Every inner statement must be guarded. If you think of your desire as far away, it remains far away. If you think of it as present, it becomes present. Your inner dialogue must agree with your spoken affirmations. Let your inner voice declare, it is done. Let your thoughts rest in fulfillment. The outer will mirror the inner, for the two are never separate. Speaking as though it is already done is the language of faith. Faith does not postpone. Faith does not question. Faith does not hope weakly. Faith declares with certainty, and in declaring, it creates. When you speak, let your words be final. Let them carry the vibration of truth. Speak health as though it already fills your body. Speak abundance as though it already flows in your life. Speak love as though it already surrounds you. Speak success as though it already crowns your efforts. The word spoken in completion draws the completed form into view. Manifestation follows alignment with law. For nothing appears in the outer world unless it first agrees with the great principles that govern creation. The universe is not ruled by chance, nor by luck, but by unchanging spiritual law. Just as gravity holds the planets in their courses, so does the law of mind hold every manifestation in order. To align with this law is to bring forth swift demonstration. To oppose it is to experience delay, confusion, and disorder. The law itself is neutral, responding not to wishes or complaints, but to the vibration of thought, the authority of word, and the certainty of belief. When the mind is filled with fear, contradiction, and doubt, it is out of alignment, and the results that appear reflect that misalignment. When the mind is filled with faith, clarity, and truth, it is in harmony, and the results mirror that harmony. You cannot plant one kind of seed and expect another to grow, nor can you sow thoughts of lack and reap abundance. The law is exact, impartial, and unfailing. It gives back what you put into it, shaped and multiplied, returned in the form you have impressed upon it. Manifestation does not bypass this law, it follows it with precision. Alignment with law means speaking words that agree with truth, thinking thoughts that reflect abundance, and holding beliefs that match the reality you desire. To affirm wealth while secretly believing in poverty is to stand divided, and the law reflects the division. To declare health while dwelling on sickness is to create resistance, and the law reflects the resistance. Alignment requires unity of mind, word, and spirit. When all three move together in certainty, the law produces results with speed and accuracy. The law is not moved by pleading, for pleading implies separation and lack. The law is moved by decree, for decree implies oneness and possession. To align with law is to recognize that the good you desire already exists in the unseen, complete and waiting. The affirmation declares it. The belief accepts it, the thought sustains it, and the law brings it into visibility. This is not magic, though it may appear magical to the unknowing. It is the natural operation of spiritual principles that have always governed life. Consider a river flowing in perfect rhythm. If you move with the current, you travel swiftly and effortlessly. If you resist, you struggle, strain, and are held back. The law is that river. Alignment allows you to move with ease, carried to your destination. Misalignment brings struggle and delay. The river does not change its course to suit your resistance. It flows as it always has. So too the law does not alter. It responds only to alignment. When you think, speak, and believe in harmony with truth, you are lifted and carried by the current of manifestation. The key is consistency. Many affirm with strength one moment and contradict themselves the next. They declare abundance in the morning and complain of lack in the afternoon. They speak health in prayer and sickness in conversation. Such contradictions send mixed signals, and the law mirrors the mixture. To align with law requires discipline, the guarding of tongue and thought, the unwavering choice to affirm truth and nothing else. Each time you choose alignment, the current strengthens. Each time you contradict it, the current is broken. Manifestation is not random, nor is it selective. It follows alignment the way a shadow follows form. The moment you align, the manifestation is inevitable. It may appear gradually or suddenly, but it cannot be withheld, for the law never fails. The unseen substance responds the same way every time. It shapes itself according to the mold you give it. The mold is your thought, your word, your belief. If the mold is steady and aligned, the form is steady and swift. If the mold is broken and scattered, the form is delayed and distorted. Alignment with law is the highest freedom. It releases you from the bondage of chance, circumstance, and external conditions. No longer do you wait for outer events to change before you believe. Instead, you believe and the outer changes. No longer do you chase after effects, hoping they will bring satisfaction. Instead, you align with cause, and effects flow naturally. The law is the invisible architect, and you are its voice. When you command with truth, the law builds without delay. When you waver, the structure falters. The choice of alignment rests in your hands, moment by moment, thought by thought, word by word. There is a divine law that governs every word spoken. Words are not mere sounds floating into the air. They are seeds planted in the fertile soil of the universe. What is spoken with conviction and imagination takes root, and draws to itself its own kind. If you say, I lack, then lack will hasten to your door. If you say, I am richly supplied, then supply moves toward you in visible form. It is not chance, nor luck, nor favor. It is law. Money is not a stranger to you. It is an obedient servant awaiting your call. Many pursue it as though it were running from them, when in truth it is waiting to be commanded. The words you speak are the golden keys that unlock its presence in your life. The individual who declares daily, everything I need comes to me in perfect ways, is magnetizing prosperity by aligning with universal order. The world teaches one to strain and struggle, to labor for every coin, to chase money as though it were a wild bird that must be trapped. Yet the spiritual law is entirely different. You do not run after the bird. You open your hand with calm assurance, and it alights upon you. So it is with money. The one who says with full faith, I am one with the infinite riches, and wealth flows to me freely, will find that unseen channels open and visible forms of supply arrive. Your words are not idle, they are decrees. When spoken with feeling, they set in motion unseen forces that build bridges of opportunity, dissolve obstacles, and prepare the way for abundance to reach you. To say, I never have enough, is to sign a contract with limitation. To say, I am guided to prosperity, and prosperity is guided to me, is to sign a contract with abundance. The choice is always with the tongue. Consider money not as a hard master but as a loyal helper. See it not as elusive but as ever present, drawn to you as surely as a river flows toward the sea. Speak as one who already holds wealth in hand, for in truth, supply exists in the unseen before it appears in the seen. To affirm lack is to cover your treasure chest with a veil. To affirm supply is to lift the veil and let the light of riches shine forth. So when you say it like this, calmly, faithfully, without resistance, money does not resist you. It recognizes its rightful place in your life and follows you as a shadow follows form. It does not require pursuit, only recognition. Speak the word of plenty, and plenty will hasten to fulfill it. Speak the word of freedom, and freedom will make itself known in your affairs. This is the unseen law, and it never fails. Words are the most powerful tools given to humanity. They are more than symbols or sounds. They are containers of energy, vessels of thought, carriers of faith, and channels through which the unseen becomes seen. Every word uttered is like a seed placed in the fertile soil of the universe, and the soil never fails to bring forth the harvest of what is planted. When one understands this, life ceases to appear as random or uncertain. Instead, one begins to perceive the great order that governs existence. If one sows seeds of lack through careless speech, lack will faithfully appear. If one sows seeds of supply, opportunity, and abundance, then those same qualities will blossom in experience. The law cannot be mocked, for it is precise, exact, and unfailing. Each thought becomes a vibration, and when clothed in words, it is given substance and direction. Words are the architects of destiny, and they form the structures of prosperity or limitation, according to how they are spoken. Consider the person who constantly repeats phrases such as, I never have enough, life is hard, or money slips through my fingers. These words, repeated with feeling, carve channels in the subconscious mind and call forth conditions to match. The universe does not discriminate between words of faith and words of fear. It simply reproduces what is declared. The one who habitually affirms shortage unknowingly signs an agreement with shortage, binding themselves to its results. On the other hand, when the tongue is used to affirm truth, the conditions of life alter to reflect that truth. The person who says with assurance, I am richly supplied, All that is mine by divine right comes to me in perfect ways, begins to align with an invisible current of abundance that moves through all creation. Words of faith are not idle decorations, they are forces that direct unseen powers into motion. The soil of the universe eagerly brings forth whatever is planted, and it multiplies the harvest according to the strength and repetition of the declaration. To recognize this is to gain mastery over circumstances. For one no longer speaks thoughtlessly, but chooses every word as carefully as one would choose seeds for a precious garden. Words shape thought, and thought shapes conditions. Imagine a gardener scattering thorn seeds and later lamenting the presence of thorns in the field. This is what many do with their words. They scatter words of fear, doubt, and complaint, then wonder why difficulty grows in their affairs. Yet the law is exact like produces like. The tongue is the sower, and life is the soil. The harvest cannot be other than the seed. When this truth is grasped, the wise individual begins to watch every word, knowing that careless speech is not harmless chatter, but the planting of undesirable seeds that must eventually bear fruit. It is often thought that only actions determine results, yet words themselves are actions of a higher order. They are spoken intentions that go forth like messengers to shape events. A word of blessing builds a path of light ahead, while a word of fear lays stones of obstruction. Many strive outwardly, laboring in endless effort, but still find themselves entangled in limitation, because their inner conversation contradicts their outer work. They attempt to build prosperity while continually affirming lack. They toil for supply while declaring poverty. The two forces cancel each other, leaving the individual weary and disheartened. But when words align with intention, the entire universe cooperates to bring about the desired result. The vibration of words cannot be underestimated. Every sound carries frequency, and when charged with conviction, it becomes a magnet drawing conditions of its kind. Uttering words of prosperity creates an atmosphere of expectancy that attracts opportunities, allies, and resources. Uttering words of lack creates a climate of resistance where even opportunities that appear soon fade away. One may think words are fleeting, but the subconscious mind records them all, and the subconscious, in turn, influences the outward world. It is therefore essential to choose words as one would choose companions with discernment, with awareness, and with reverence for their power. The one who fills their speech with faith-filled affirmations becomes a center of magnetism. People sense confidence, doors open, and ways are prepared because the individual's words are aligned with truth. They have sown seeds of wealth, health, and opportunity, and the soil of the universe has no choice but to bring forth their harvest. Even when appearances seem contrary, faith-filled words continue to build unseen structures, and at the appointed time, those structures become visible. The harvest may appear suddenly, as if out of nowhere, yet in truth, it is the natural outcome of what was spoken long before. It is also important to remember that silence itself is not neutrality. Where one does not affirm good, negative suggestions often rush in to fill the void. That is why deliberate speech is vital. To wake each morning and declare, "This is a day of plenty. All that I need comes to me in perfect ways," sets the tone for the hours ahead. To speak such words at night, before sleep, plants seeds in the subconscious that grow while the body rests. Every phrase becomes a builder of destiny, and repeated affirmations engrave patterns in the mind that attract matching experiences. The careless person may laugh at such truth, thinking words to be insignificant, yet their life will mirror the harvest of their speech. The wise will honor the tongue as the sower of fate and will choose to plant words of life, prosperity, joy, and health. Words are seeds and seeds grow. The harvest is inevitable. To speak in lack is to bind oneself to lack. To speak in abundance is to invite abundance into every avenue of existence. The law is exact, unwavering, and impartial. Every declaration is a decree, every phrase a command to the invisible forces that shape destiny. Money is never the master, though many have been taught to fear it, to chase it, or to worship it. Money is but a servant, a symbol, a tool placed within human reach to serve higher purposes. When one looks upon it as a tyrant, it appears to dominate life, dictating choices, binding decisions, and ruling over thoughts. Yet when seen in its true light, it is recognized as obedient, always responding to the direction of word and thought. The master is the spirit within, and money is simply a reflection of the consciousness that governs it. The individual who sees money as scarce and difficult to obtain places themselves under its imagined control. They bow before it, worrying over its absence, fearing its loss, and longing for its increase. In doing so, they make money the master. Though in truth money has no power of its own, it only reflects the state of mind that calls it forth. A servant cannot act without command, and money cannot move without instruction. The word spoken with faith is the instruction, and the attitude behind it is the power. When spoken rightly, money comes easily, faithfully, and in abundance, for it recognizes its place as a helper to the one who understands. Money is designed to move toward usefulness. It responds to purpose, to vision, to service. When a person declares, "Money is my servant, and it flows to me for rightful use," they set themselves above it and give it its true role. The servant does not dictate to the master. It fulfills the command. The one who commands with fear receives a fearful servant, a servant that arrives only in small measure and slips away quickly. The one who commands with confidence receives a loyal servant that multiplies, that arrives through expected and unexpected channels, that works quietly in the background to provide what is needed at the perfect time. Consider how many live in bondage to the idea of money. They choose employment they dislike, not out of joy but out of fear. They remain in situations that stifle their spirit because they have placed money on a throne as if it were king. Yet no throne belongs to it. The true throne belongs to divine order, to the inner spirit, to the word of truth spoken with authority. Once this is seen, chains fall away, and the individual walks in freedom, recognizing that money is drawn to them, not as master but as servant. Every coin, every note, every form of supply is but a shadow of consciousness. To elevate the shadow above the substance is to live in confusion. The substance is the invisible realm of thought and word, and from that substance comes the visible symbol, called money. To chase the shadow is fruitless. It flees and eludes. To command the substance through affirmation is powerful. The shadow must then obey and appear. Words such as, "Money is hard to keep," or "Money controls my life," are instructions to the servant that bind it into troublesome service. But words such as, "Money is my obedient servant," it comes when called, it multiplies under divine direction. It serves my good and the good of others, set money in its rightful place, and bring about conditions of ease. Many misunderstand wealth, thinking it rests only in figures, coins, or possessions. Yet wealth begins in consciousness, and money simply follows. When a person knows themselves to be rich in ideas, rich in opportunities, rich in friendships, rich in health, then money naturally comes to assist. It is drawn to richness of spirit as iron is drawn to the magnet. The impoverished thought repels it, the fearful thought drives it away. The resentful thought blocks its flow, but the thought of generosity, gratitude, and expectancy summons it forth, and it hurries to serve. Money is quick to obey the one who is unafraid to command it. Fear paralyzes, but calm assurance directs. Just as a faithful servant watches for the slightest signal from the master, money watches for the slightest affirmation from the lips. The universe is alive with supply, endless and inexhaustible, and money is one of its countless channels. To see it as scarce is to shrink the channel. To see it as abundant is to widen the flow. The servant waits for instruction. If told, "I never have enough," it will fulfill the order and remain scarce. If told, "My supply is abundant and ever-present," it will fulfill the order and appear freely. The misuse of money comes from mistaking the servant for the master. When one clings to money in fear, hoarding it, worshipping it, or allowing it to dictate actions, then harmony is broken, for the natural order has been reversed. The servant is on the throne, and confusion results. But when one sees money rightly, as a tool to accomplish good, to create beauty, to expand service, to ease life's burdens, Then money flows with grace, because it recognizes its rightful role. It does not resist, it hastens to fulfill its task. It is not the duty of the individual to chase money. The duty is to recognize truth, speak it, and expect it. The servant arrives when called. The more clearly it is commanded, the more faithfully it serves. Vague words produce vague results. Fearful words produce limited results. Strong, confident words produce overflowing results. The servant of money is eager, willing, and tireless, but it will never act without command. Every declaration is an order, every affirmation a signal. To recognize this is to stand in mastery. Thus, money is never a tyrant except to those who allow it to sit in a throne it does not own. In reality, it is a tool, a helper. A servant waiting to be sent forth on errands of good. It has no will of its own, no life of its own, no dominion of its own. It is clay shaped by thought, light formed into symbol, energy clothed in material form. It will always reflect the consciousness of the one who commands it. If commanded to bring hardship, it obeys. If commanded to bring blessing, it obeys. If commanded to multiply and serve in freedom, it obeys. The servant does not argue with the master. It simply fulfills the order given through the spoken word. To speak supply is to invite supply. The spoken word carries within it the very essence of creation, and the moment it is declared with conviction, unseen forces begin their work to clothe it in visible form. There is no idle speech, for every utterance is a seed, and every seed is destined to grow after its own kind. The person who continually speaks lack, who rehearses shortage with every conversation, who repeats phrases of insufficiency, is scattering seeds of poverty into the soil of the universe, and the harvest must match the planting. But the one who deliberately, joyfully, and faithfully declares supply is sowing seeds of abundance that cannot help but bear fruit in due season. When you say, "I am provided for," you are aligning your words with divine order, and the universe recognizes the command. When you affirm, "Everything I need comes to me in perfect ways," you set in motion a current of supply that flows toward you through channels, both expected and unexpected. It is not the force of struggle that brings wealth, it is the word spoken in faith. The mind may reason that work alone is the source, but the spirit knows that work is merely one of the channels through which supply arrives. The real source is invisible, and it responds not to toil or fear, but to the clear decree of faith-filled speech. Every affirmation of supply is a key turning in a lock. When spoken with belief, it opens doors that were hidden and calls forth opportunities that could not be seen before. Supply may come through a new idea, a helpful connection, a sudden inspiration, or a gift that arrives without expectation. Yet whatever its form, the root of its arrival is always in the spoken word. To say, "I am rich in opportunities," is to awaken opportunities. To say, "My wealth flows constantly," is to activate the flow. The words become the blueprint, and the invisible law of creation builds according to the design given. One may look around and see evidence of lack, but to repeat that evidence in speech is to give it more power. To speak supply even when appearances seem barren is to plant new seeds that must eventually overcome the old. Appearances are but the reflection of yesterday's words, while today's affirmations are shaping the reality of tomorrow. To say, "I am surrounded by abundance," when the purse is empty, is to call forth the harvest that must soon appear. The soil of the universe is fertile beyond measure, it only waits for the right seed to be dropped into it. The tongue is the sower, and every phrase is a planting. The truth is that supply is ever present, but it must be acknowledged to be experienced. Just as light fills a room when the curtain is drawn, abundance floods life when the word of supply is spoken. Silence about good leaves the curtain closed, complaint about lack thickens the darkness. But affirmation of abundance parts the veil, and the radiance of supply enters freely. The declaration, "I live in an abundant universe, and everything I need is here for me," is not a mere wish. It is a statement of fact that summons its own evidence. The universe responds with precision to the vibration of the word, bringing forth conditions that mirror the speech. The difference between lack and supply is often only in the words repeated day after day. The person who says, "Money is scarce and times are hard," will see their life shaped by that decree. The one who says, "Money comes to me easily and constantly," will see their life shaped by that decree. The law does not choose between them. It simply fulfills the command spoken. This is why the wise watch their words with care, never allowing idle phrases of lack to slip past their lips, but instead filling their speech with declarations of plenty. Supply is obedient to the voice that calls it. It does not argue, it does not resist. It does not delay when summoned with authority. When you say, "I am richly provided for," you are giving the law of abundance a direct order. The response may come as new income, unexpected support, opportunities for service, or gifts freely given, but it must come, for the word has gone forth. And once a word has gone forth with conviction, it cannot return void. It must accomplish that for which it was spoken. It is not enough to think of supply silently while continuing to speak lack aloud. The tongue must align with the mind, and the outer speech must match the inner vision. To tell others of hardship while secretly hoping for prosperity is to plant mixed seeds, and the harvest will be mixed. But to speak boldly of abundance, even in the face of contrary evidence, is to plant only the seeds of prosperity, and the harvest will be sure. The universe listens to words more than wishes, to declarations more than daydreams, to affirmations more than complaints. The rhythm of speech creates a rhythm in life. Speak of plenty consistently, and life begins to echo that song with visible supply. Speak of want consistently, and life will echo with want. Every conversation becomes an opportunity to plant seeds of wealth or weeds of lack. To declare often, "I am connected to endless supply," strengthens the roots of abundance in the subconscious mind. And from those roots grows the visible tree of prosperity. It is not the volume of words that matters, but the faith behind them. A single phrase spoken with conviction carries more power than 100 phrases muttered with doubt. When you say, "My good is secure," and "My wealth is constant," and you mean it with your whole being, the decree goes forth like a trumpet, and supply marches toward you. Faith-filled words are irresistible. They command attention in the unseen and shape conditions in the seen. The more firmly and joyfully they are spoken, the swifter their results appear. Thus, to speak supply is to summon it. Every word of abundance sown into the universe is a seed destined to sprout. The harvest may not appear at once, but the law is certain, and the soil never fails. Speak as though you already possess it, and the possession must manifest. Speak as though you are already surrounded by plenty, and plenty will rush in to prove your words true. The law responds unfailingly to the words spoken with faith, and supply appears in the exact measure of the decree. To affirm abundance is to unlock the gates of plenty, and to do so is to dissolve the shadows of limitation that cling to the mind. Limitation is not a force outside of oneself, it is a belief planted within, fed by words of fear, watered by thoughts of lack, and strengthened by repetition of doubt. When one continues to affirm shortage, one is simply reinforcing walls that were never meant to stand. But the moment the tongue declares abundance with unwavering faith, those walls begin to crumble, for words of truth are stronger than any false structure of lack. The world trains many to give power to appearances. If the purse is light, they say, "I cannot afford this." If opportunities seem scarce, they repeat, "There is nothing for me here." In doing so, they affirm limitation, and limitation responds faithfully. Life echoes back what is spoken into it. Yet when a person, standing in the midst of apparent lack, chooses instead to say, "I live in an abundant universe, and all that I need comes to me freely," the very atmosphere shifts. The words act as light, dissolving the fog of appearances, and the law of abundance begins to manifest opportunities, ideas, and resources. Affirmation is not idle fancy. It is the blueprint given to the unseen forces that govern existence. Every declaration of abundance sets the law in motion to fulfill it. When you say, "I am richly supplied," you are not describing a hope but commanding a reality. The universe does not argue with the declaration. It responds with precision. It is only the doubting mind that interrupts the flow, speaking abundance one moment and canceling it the next with words of lack. The soil of life is impartial. It grows weeds as readily as it grows flowers, and it multiplies according to the seed planted most often. That is why consistent affirmation of abundance is essential. Repetition engraves truth into the subconscious, and once truth is established there, limitation has no ground to stand upon. When the tongue affirms wealth, health, and freedom, the subconscious accepts it as fact. The subconscious does not reason, it obeys. It carries out the instructions it receives, projecting them into circumstances, guiding choices, attracting opportunities, and arranging events to align with the decree. The one who affirms, "Everything I do prospers," will find prosperity reflected in results, even when logic cannot explain how. The one who affirms, "I am always provided for," will discover that provision arrives at the right time, through the right people, in the right way. Affirmation dissolves limitation because it reorders the inner realm, and once the inner is reordered, the outer must follow. Limitation is only a shadow. It has no substance except the belief and attention given to it. Shadows disappear when light is introduced, and abundance affirmations are light in word form. Every time you say, "There is no limit to my supply," you shine light on the shadow, and the shadow cannot remain. What seemed impossible begins to yield, what seemed closed begins to open, and what seemed absent begins to appear. This is not magic, it is law. The universe responds to faith-filled speech as surely as the soil responds to the seed planted within it. It is not enough to think abundance silently while speaking limitation aloud. Words must align with thought, and speech must affirm truth, even in the face of contradictory appearances. To tell a neighbor of hardship while secretly affirming prosperity is to plant two opposing seeds. The result will be confusion, for the harvest will be mixed. But to boldly affirm abundance in every conversation, to let the lips overflow with words of plenty, is to plant only good seeds. The harvest may not be immediate, but it is certain, and in time it will overwhelm the remnants of lack with visible prosperity. The dissolving of limitation begins with vigilance over the tongue. Many imprison themselves daily with phrases such as, "I cannot," "I do not have," "It is impossible." These words act as chains, binding supply and restricting flow. Yet when replaced with affirmations such as, "I can," "I do have," "All things are possible for me," the chains fall away and the river of supply runs freely again. The choice of words is the choice between bondage and freedom, between lack and plenty, between limitation and expansion. Every affirmation of abundance strengthens the atmosphere of expectancy. Expectancy is magnetic, it draws matching conditions into being. The person who continually affirms, "I attract prosperous opportunities," will notice that opportunities begin to appear where none seem to exist. The person who says, "Money comes to me constantly and easily," will find streams of income opening in surprising ways. These affirmations are not wishful thinking, they are commands, and the law of creation is compelled to carry them out. Just as water takes the shape of the vessel into which it is poured, life takes the shape of the words spoken into it. Dissolving limitation does not require struggle. It requires persistence in affirming abundance until limitation is starved of attention. What you no longer feed with your words cannot survive. To constantly affirm abundance is to feast upon truth, and truth makes lack powerless. Lack may seem to shout loudly, but it has no strength except the energy given to it through speech and thought. Withdraw that energy. Replace it with affirmations of plenty, and lack fades as mist before the rising sun. The power of affirmation grows with emotion. Words spoken mechanically are weak, but words spoken with feeling ignite the subconscious with conviction. To declare, "I am surrounded by prosperity," while feeling gratitude, joy, and certainty, sends a command into the unseen that must be fulfilled. Emotion is the fuel, and affirmation is the spark. Together they create a fire that burns away the fog of limitation and clears the path for abundance to flow unhindered. To affirm abundance is to live from the awareness that supply is already here, waiting to be recognized. It is not distant, not withheld, not reserved for others. It surrounds you now, but it takes the key of spoken word to unlock its flow into visible form. Every declaration is such a key. The more often the key is turned, the wider the gates of supply swing open, and the less power limitation holds over the mind. Soon limitation ceases to appear real, for it has been dissolved by the constant affirmation of abundance, and in its place stands visible proof of the truth that was spoken all along. Money follows faith-filled words, never pursuit. The moment one chases money with fear or desperation, it seems to slip further away, like a shadow fleeing the one who runs toward it. Yet when one speaks words of faith, calm and assured, money comes of its own accord, quietly, naturally, without struggle. It does not respond to frantic effort, but to steady conviction. The law of supply is spiritual, and it bends only to the command of faith. Pursuit suggests lack, but faith-filled speech proclaims possession, and possession attracts more of its own kind. Every word spoken in faith becomes a magnet. The lips declare abundance, and abundance answers. The tongue utters prosperity, and prosperity comes to stand at the door. When a person says, "I am divinely prospered," and believes the words, money hastens to align with the decree. It may come through business, through gifts, through inspiration, through unexpected channels. But it comes because the order has been spoken. To chase money without the word is to labor in vain. For the root of wealth lies not in pursuit but in declaration. Faith-filled words carry a vibration that cannot be denied. The universe is alive, and it responds to sound, especially the sound of conviction. Words born of fear scatter energy, but words born of faith gather it and direct it with precision. To say, "Money follows me wherever I go," is to set in motion a current that goes ahead, preparing ways for prosperity to appear. To say, "I am always supplied," is to send out a decree that bends circumstances, people, and opportunities toward fulfillment. Faith-filled words are commands written on the unseen fabric of life, and the fabric rearranges itself to match. Money is not drawn to anxious grasping, for anxiety repels it. Pursuit rooted in fear carries the vibration of shortage, and shortage reproduces itself faithfully. But when the lips declare, "I am already abundant," the energy shifts. Faith does not chase, it attracts. It does not plead, it commands. It does not struggle, it knows. The one who knows through speech that supply is ever present never finds themselves abandoned by it. Money follows the decree, just as surely as a river follows its bed, because the path has been spoken into being. Words of faith create channels where none existed before. A person may not know how the money will come, but their declaration sets unseen forces to work. Doors begin to open, ideas rise unbidden, opportunities align, and resources appear as though from nowhere. Yet nothing is random, it is the natural outworking of the words. The one who says, "I am open to divine supply," plants seeds that sprout in ways the rational mind cannot predict. The one who says, "Money comes to me constantly and in perfect ways," plants seeds that grow into streams of provision. Pursuit looks outward in uncertainty, but faith-filled words look inward to the source and draw the outer into alignment. To speak from lack is to give chase, and the chase never ends. The person who constantly says, "I never have enough," is running after money with the energy of want, and money flees in response. But the person who says, "I always have more than enough," is standing still in assurance, and money comes to them naturally. The law of attraction to faith-filled speech is inexorable. It cannot be broken, and it never fails. Life itself bends to the word, because the word is creative. It was by the word that worlds were framed, and it is by the word that supply is commanded into form. Money is obedient, not elusive. It listens to the voice of faith, not to the cry of fear. The servant does not follow the frantic master, but the master who speaks with authority. Faith-filled words are authority in action. To declare abundance is to take the rightful seat of command, and money recognizes the authority of that command. It follows because it must. It follows because it has no will of its own. It is energy molded by thought, shaped by affirmation, moved by decree. Pursuit suggests that money is in control, but speech reveals that the true control rests with the one who commands. Every affirmation of wealth is a step taken without moving. The lips say, "I prosper in all I do," and prosperity begins to surround the speaker. The tongue utters, "I walk in abundance," and the path of abundance unfolds ahead. These words are not empty sounds, they are spiritual currents. They travel beyond the physical ear, into the unseen, into the substance of life, and they carve out channels that money then fills. Pursuit is wariness, but faith-filled words are rest, and from rest springs supply. To practice faith-filled speech is to cultivate a climate where money thrives. Just as plants flourish in light and warmth, supply flourishes in words of gratitude, expectancy, and assurance. The declaration, "Everything I touch prospers," provides light for the seed. The declaration, "All doors open for me," provides warmth for the seed. Soon the plant of prosperity grows strong, while weeds of lack wither away, starved of attention. The more consistently faith-filled words are spoken, the stronger the atmosphere becomes, until money follows with certainty, unable to resist the magnetic pull of conviction. Faith-filled words must be consistent, not wavering. To speak abundance one day and limitation the next is to pull up the seed before it has taken root. But to water it daily with affirmations of supply, to speak continually of prosperity, is to guarantee the harvest. Pursuit stops when the seed is buried, but the wise gardener knows the soil will produce, so it is with words. Once spoken with faith, they are alive in the unseen, working, gathering, aligning. Money will follow because the decree has gone forth. It is not necessary to chase, it is only necessary to affirm and trust. Thus, money follows the word, not the chase. It obeys faith-filled declarations spoken with conviction, never frantic pursuit born of fear. The one who commands with the tongue walks in mastery, while the one who chases in anxiety walks in bondage. Faith-filled words open the way, shape the path, and draw supply into visible form. Pursuit is endless running, but declaration is effortless command. Money follows not the footsteps of fear, but the voice of faith, and it arrives as a faithful servant to the one who knows how to speak with authority. There is a law, unseen yet eternal, that governs all the affairs of men and women. It is the law of the spoken word, the decree that leaves the lips and travels into the substance of life, where it takes root and returns multiplied. Many imagine that money comes by toil, by ceaseless struggle, by weary hands clasping at shadows. Yet the truth is far more wondrous. Money is spirit in expression, and spirit obeys the voice of faith. When the word is spoken with certainty, it gathers itself into form. When the word is spoken with authority, it calls the unseen to manifest. The lips declare, and the universe arranges. This is no empty fancy. It is the ancient secret hidden in plain sight. By thy words thou shalt be justified. One word of faith is more powerful than 1,000 plans without vision. I spoke it, and the gates of supply opened wide. I declared abundance, and the tide of gold and silver rose to meet me. There was no strain, no clutching, no fear of loss. For fear has no claim in the kingdom of divine plenty. The word I spoke was not a plea but a decree. It was the sound of conviction, the sound of alignment with the infinite treasury of spirit. Life has no choice but to yield to the one who speaks in faith. The invisible is compelled to become visible. What once seemed impossible becomes natural, and what was once scarce flows without end. For every coin, every bill, every treasure is but crystallized thought, clothed in matter, drawn by the magnet of the word. The world teaches limitation, that one must earn each morsel by sweat and burden. But truth whispers otherwise. Truth declares that wealth already exists in the unseen, waiting only for the call. The harvest is perpetual, yet many fail to speak the command that brings it forth. They scatter words of doubt, and reap accordingly. Yet when the lips are touched with faith, when the tongue utters only increase, then great sums of money appear as naturally as the dawn follows the night. So it was that I spoke, calmly, surely, without wavering, and the floodgates of provision swung wide. The money came not as drudgery, not as a trickle, but as a river. Ideas prospered. Doors opened, strangers became allies, and the channels of supply multiplied. It was never the striving of the outer man, but the certainty of the inner decree that performed the miracle. The word is seed. The soil is the infinite. The harvest is inevitable. I spoke and the substance of life obeyed. I spoke, and huge sums of money came, swift, direct, and perfect. For the voice of faith never returns void, it engraves its pattern upon the ethers, and the ethers rush to fulfill. The spoken word is law, shaping substance into form. This is not merely a figure of speech, nor a poetic symbol meant to stir the imagination. It is the primal truth that lies beneath all creation, the secret rhythm by which worlds are built and lives are shaped. Every word spoken is a decree sent forth into the great unseen, a command that must find its reflection in the visible. Just as a seed holds within it the pattern of the tree, so does every utterance hold within it the form of its manifestation. The lips may move lightly, the voice may sound but a whisper, yet the power released is immeasurable. Spirit listens, matter obeys, the invisible substance of the universe, that divine and living ether, is impressionable to the spoken word, and once impressed, it rushes to mold itself into whatever decree has been spoken. Consider how the first chapter of creation was written. Nothing was fashioned by hammer or by hand, it was spoken. Let there be. And there was. The pattern has not changed. The universe remains obedient to the same law. Words are not empty, nor idle, nor without consequence. Every word is a cause, and every form is its effect. To speak is to create. To declare is to mold. What one affirms with certainty becomes the framework of experience, whether it be wealth, health, peace, or joy. The law does not falter, does not discriminate, does not pause to decide who is worthy and who is not. It responds only to the word spoken with conviction, for the word is law in action. Many walk through life unconscious of this law, scattering words of fear, complaint, doubt, and despair. These words are no less seeds than words of faith, and they too must take root and grow. Life mirrors them back in scarcity, in confusion, in closed doors and fruitless labor. Yet the one who awakens to the truth, the one who understands that each syllable uttered is an act of creation, begins to guard the lips with holy reverence. Such a one speaks only that which he or she desires to see made flesh. The careless chatterer reaps weeds, but the mindful declarer reaps gardens overflowing with beauty. The spoken word is not bound by time or circumstance. One may look upon an empty purse, an empty table, an empty account, and yet declare with steadfast voice, I have abundance, I have supply. My wealth is manifest now. To the logical mind this appears foolish, a denial of what the eyes perceive. But the law is not governed by appearances. It is governed by the decree. Appearances are only shadows, shifting with the light. The word, once spoken with faith, is the substance behind the shadow, the reality waiting to take form. Just as the architect speaks his vision before a stone is laid, so must the one who knows the law speak the vision of wealth, of freedom, of overflowing supply, even while standing in the midst of lack. There is no struggle in this. Struggle belongs to the realm of doubt, where one fights against appearances and grows weary in the battle. But the one who speaks in faith rests in assurance, for the word itself does the work. The law is already established. It does not require force, only certainty. When the decree is uttered with unwavering faith, the universe aligns unseen forces, moves people and circumstances, rearranges events, and causes the word to clothe itself in tangible form. This is the mystery that many miss, that the spoken word, uttered in conviction, is the engine of creation, invisible yet unstoppable. Every fortune ever made began with a word. Every healing, every deliverance, every new life of freedom began with a decree. The merchant declares his trade will prosper, and so it does. The artist declares his work will be valued, and the world responds. The seeker declares, I am led, I am guided, I am supplied. And guidance appears as if from nowhere, though it has been summoned by the word. Words are not mere sounds. They are vibratory commands impressed upon the living ether. They call into order that which was formless. They give shape to the unseen. They are the builders of experience, the true architects of destiny. To understand this is to recognize that no word falls to the ground void. Idle words are not truly idle. They gather substance even as the speaker forgets them. This is why many reap what they did not consciously plant, for careless words, once spoken, must also bear fruit. The wise one learns to bridle the tongue, to speak only increase, only good, only supply. For to say I cannot is to bind oneself. To say I have not is to enforce lack. But to say I can is to unbind. To say I have is to open the gates of abundance. Life repeats the decree with precision, shaping circumstances to reflect the words spoken. Even silence is not as powerful as the word. Thought is creative, but thought clothed in speech multiplies its force. It is as though the invisible becomes audible, and once made audible, it is set upon its course to return fulfilled. This is why affirmations, declarations, decrees, spoken with faith, hold power beyond measure. The word is law, and law never fails. To speak in faith is to write the script of experience. To decree is to sign the contract with life itself. The spoken word is law, shaping substance into form. Every utterance is an act of creation, whether in ignorance or in wisdom. Those who speak with fear create after the pattern of fear. Those who speak with faith create after the pattern of faith. The law is impartial, unfailing, eternal. It cannot be bribed, cannot be bent, cannot be escaped. It is the word that was in the beginning, and it remains the word that shapes the end. Faith-filled words open the gates of limitless supply. To understand this truth is to hold the key to the treasure house of life. The universe is not stingy, nor is it a measure weighing each request with suspicion. It is an overflowing storehouse, a river of abundance without end, waiting only for the word of faith to swing open its gates. Without the word, the gates remain closed, though the supply exists in infinite measure. With the word, spoken in certainty, those gates swing wide, and what was invisible flows into visibility. Faith is the hand that turns the key, and speech is the act that sets the law in motion. There are many who pray without faith, and so their words rise like smoke without fire. They speak but do not believe, and so the gates remain shut. Yet when the lips and the heart agree, when the voice carries the vibration of assurance, then the unseen responds with precision. Faith-filled words do not beg, they declare. They do not ask timidly, they command with reverence. They are not cries of desperation but decrees of certainty. Faith says, I know it is mine. I know it is here. I know it is now. And the gates obey. Supply is not created by faith-filled words, it already exists. Every idea of wealth, every opportunity, every stream of provision is already present in the invisible realm. It waits, like a harvest in the field, needing only the command to gather it in. Faith-filled words act as the sickle that cuts down the sheaves, the hand that brings the grain into the barn. Without that word, the field remains untouched. With it, the barns overflow. The difference lies not in the abundance of supply. It is always limitless, but in the openness of the gates, which are moved by faith alone. Those who speak with doubt push the gates closed even while standing before the storehouse. They say, it is too hard, it is too late, it is not for me, and so the gates refuse to open. But one who dares to speak with faith, even in the face of lack, sees the gates swing wide. For the gates are not moved by appearances but by vibration. The vibration of faith-filled words harmonizes with the eternal law of abundance. And in that harmony, the invisible becomes visible, the locked becomes open, the sealed becomes free. To live in this law is to practice constant declaration of good. One does not wait until the purse is filled to speak abundance. One speaks abundance when the purse is empty, for the word of faith is the very force that fills it. One does not wait until opportunity appears to declare success. One declares success, and opportunity arrives in obedience to that decree. The lips become the key bearer, the tongue the opener of gates. By faith-filled words, doors once closed swing wide. By faith-filled words, rivers of provision rush forth where once there was desert. Every channel of supply in life responds to this law. Work prospers when the worker speaks prosperity over it. Ideas multiply when the thinker speaks increase into them. Money gathers when the one who holds it blesses it and speaks gratitude over it. To complain of lack is to close the gate tighter. To bless what one has and to declare its multiplication is to open the gate wider. The difference is not in the amount but in the decree. The law does not measure coins, it measures words. Faith-filled words weigh heavier than gold, and they draw gold to themselves as naturally as a magnet draws iron. This law is impartial, and it works for all who dare to believe. The lips of the rich and the lips of the poor alike hold the key. The universe does not ask who speaks, only whether the word carries faith. The beggar who declares, "I am supplied in full measure now," with true conviction, will see doors open that the proud doubter cannot find. The merchant who declares, "My business prospers, customers are drawn to me, and my wealth multiplies," with unwavering faith, finds those very customers arriving, drawn by invisible cords of attraction. The artist who declares, "My work is valued, my gift is received, and my income increases," sees the world respond in ways no calculation could predict. Faith-filled words open gates not only of money, but of every form of supply. Health flows where words of faith declare wholeness. Peace flows where words of faith declare calm. Guidance flows where words of faith declare clarity. Yet when the subject is wealth, the law remains the same. The gate to limitless supply is opened not by worry, not by fear, not by effort alone, but by the decree spoken with faith. Those who master this art learn to keep their words in alignment with their desire. They do not declare poverty even as a jest, for every word is seed. They do not speak fear in moments of weakness, for every word shapes substance. Instead, they discipline the tongue to utter only what they wish to see made visible. Their speech becomes a constant stream of affirmation. Money flows to me freely and abundantly. Every door is open, every channel is clear. I am rich in divine supply. Such words are not empty repetition, they are keys turning the lock, each spoken with the conviction that the law cannot fail. Faith-filled words carry authority because they are born of inner knowing. To speak without faith is to recite a formula without power. To speak with faith is to release the very vibration of creation. The one who speaks in faith feels the certainty before it appears, sees the supply in the unseen, and speaks as though it were already accomplished. This alignment of feeling, thought, and speech sends forth a command that the universe must obey. The gates cannot resist such authority, for it is the authority of divine law itself. Every great fortune, every story of sudden increase, every tale of miraculous provision can be traced to words of faith spoken before the evidence appeared. Men and women who dared to declare abundance, while others saw only lack, became magnets of wealth. They held the vision, spoke the word, and the gates opened to pour forth what was already waiting in the unseen. This is not chance nor luck nor accident. It is law unchanging, eternal, precise. The same law that governs the rising of the sun and the turning of the tides governs the opening of these gates. Faith-filled words open the gates of limitless supply, and once they are open, the flow cannot be stopped except by the speaker's own reversal. To keep them open is to remain steadfast in speech, never contradicting the decree with words of doubt. The gates do not swing open and closed by whim. They respond faithfully to the vibration carried by the tongue. The moment faith falters and words of fear replace words of assurance, the gates begin to close. Yet when faith is restored and words of truth are spoken once more, the gates reopen and the river flows again. Money is spirit in expression, summoned by decree. What most believe to be lifeless paper or metal is in truth living substance, a symbol of divine circulation clothed in material form. Money is not mere matter, it is energy, intelligence, movement, the visible face of an invisible reality. When one begins to see it not as something separate, scarce, or external, but as spirit taking shape, the whole relationship to supply is transformed. Spirit is infinite, unbounded, eternal, and when it expresses itself through money, it simply dons a temporary garment to serve a purpose. Just as water takes the form of a cup, a stream, or an ocean, so does spirit take the form of currency, opportunities, ideas, and channels of wealth. Because money is spirit in expression, it is governed by the same laws that govern all spirit. It flows toward conviction, it multiplies when blessed, it disappears when cursed. It obeys the command of faith. It is not hoarded by chance, nor withheld by fate. It moves in rhythm with the words spoken and the thoughts held. The decree is what summons it, not labor alone, nor calculation, nor the mechanical grinding of effort. Labor may be one channel, yet the decree is the command that calls the channel forth. Effort may be one means, yet the decree is the unseen law that sustains the means and brings multiplication. Without the decree, money lies dormant, just as spirit unspoken remains unformed. With the decree, money flows, because spirit is compelled to take expression when commanded by the voice of faith. The decree is not begging, nor is it pleading. To beg is to declare lack, and lack multiplies in obedience to that vibration. The decree is a statement of authority. Money is mine in overflowing measure. Money comes to me by divine right. Money serves me now. Such words carry weight because they are aligned with truth. Spirit does not deny itself, and since money is spirit in expression, it cannot withhold itself from the one who claims it rightly. The decree sets the vibration, and money, as spirit in visible form, must arrange itself to match. To declare money as spirit is to strip away fear of loss. Spirit cannot be lost, only transformed. A bill may leave the hand, yet the essence of supply remains, circulating and returning in multiplied form. This is why money is called currency. It is current, movement, flow. It is the river of spirit moving through the channels of human affairs. To cling with fear is to dam the river, to block the natural rhythm. To release with blessing is to keep the current alive, ensuring its return in ever-widening streams. The decree spoken with faith maintains this flow, keeping the channels open and the supply in circulation. Those who see money only as material miss its true essence, and so they struggle. They toil endlessly, imagining that by sheer force they can create what is already present in spirit. They see only numbers, bills, and coins, and they forget that these are shadows of something greater. But the one who knows money as spirit in expression summons it not by strain but by word. Just as spirit manifests health when wholeness is declared, or peace when harmony is affirmed, so does spirit manifest as money when supply is spoken with conviction. The decree calls the formless into form, and the form arrives through countless channels: business, opportunity, gift, idea, favor, or unexpected means. This is why it is said that money obeys the decree. Words carry the vibration of spirit, and spirit, once vibrated, must appear in likeness. When one says, "I never have enough," spirit, hearing the decree, arranges itself into shortage. When one says, "Money flows to me endlessly," spirit arranges itself into channels of increase. Spirit does not argue, it obeys. It takes the mold of the decree, whether spoken consciously or carelessly. Every word is a command, every thought a vibration, every decree a blueprint. The wise one therefore speaks only abundance, for he knows that his decree is the architect of his fortune. Money is not a stranger, nor an enemy, nor a master. It is servant, expression, symbol, and it answers to the voice of faith. It has no will of its own, it mirrors the will impressed upon it. It takes shape according to the decree that calls it forth. If one sees it as scarce, it acts scarce. If one sees it as plentiful, it acts plentiful. If one blesses it, it multiplies. If one curses it, it shrinks. The decree determines its behavior, for the decree is spirit shaping spirit. The one who desires greater sums must first change his words. Let no declaration of poverty pass the lips. Let no word of lack escape the tongue. For every utterance is law, and every careless decree is honored. To say, "I cannot afford it," is to summon the spirit of inability. To say, "It is too hard to earn," is to summon the spirit of difficulty. But to say, "Money is always with me," is to summon presence. To say, "I afford all I need with ease," is to summon sufficiency. The decree makes the difference, and the law does not fail. It is not arrogance to speak money into form, for money is spirit in service, not spirit as master. To command money rightly is to place spirit in its proper channel, to recognize its role as expression rather than source. The source is infinite, and money is but one way it reveals itself. The decree aligns with the source, and the source never fails to respond. Just as the sun shines without limit, so does spirit supply without measure. Money, as expression of that supply, flows wherever the decree calls it. The mind that doubts imagines obstacles, recession, lack of opportunity, closed markets, unfavorable conditions. Yet all these are shadows before the decree. Spirit is not hindered by appearances. It finds 1,000 channels where logic sees none. It creates openings where walls appear solid. It multiplies resources where none seemed present. Money is spirit in expression, and spirit is infinite. When the decree is spoken with unwavering faith, money comes, not by chance, but by law, not in trickles, but in torrents. This is why the lips carry such power. The decree is not silent. It must be spoken, declared, affirmed. Thought alone stirs spirit, but the spoken decree sets it in motion with force. Words are vibration made audible, and once released, they are carriers of command. The vibration of faith in the decree calls money into form. It may arrive swiftly or gradually, through expected or unexpected means, but arrive it must, for the law cannot be broken. Money is spirit in expression, and spirit answers to the decree. Doubt scatters scarcity, conviction multiplies abundance. Doubt is the thief that creeps in quietly, sowing disorder in the field of supply, breaking the rhythm of the law, and scattering the good seed into confusion. Conviction, however, gathers, focuses, and multiplies. It is the magnet that draws abundance into form. The steady hand that holds the reins of life, the unwavering decree that compels the universe to align. Where doubt reigns, the harvest is meager, for the energy of the word is divided, weakened, and dispersed. Where conviction reigns, the harvest is overflowing, for every word is a sharp arrow that hits its mark without faltering. When one speaks with doubt, the vibration is uncertain. It is like a musician playing notes out of tune, producing a discord that repels rather than attracts. The universe is orderly, precise, responsive only to clarity. A wavering declaration, spoken one day in faith and the next in fear, sends mixed commands into the ethers, and the ethers, confused, return a tangled result. This is why so many see their good delayed or diluted. They plant seeds of abundance with one word, only to uproot them with the next. They declare wealth today and lament poverty tomorrow. They affirm health at sunrise and confess sickness by sunset. The soil does not reject the seed, but the hand of doubt keeps disturbing the field. Conviction, on the other hand, is a settled knowing, an inner certainty that does not bend before appearances. It speaks once and knows the word has taken root. It does not dig up the seed to see if it is growing. It waters it with expectation. It blesses it with gratitude. It stands in unwavering assurance that the harvest must come. Conviction multiplies abundance because it gives a clear, unbroken command to the invisible substance of life. Spirit hears no hesitation, no contradiction, no wavering, and so it rushes to form the image spoken with power. Doubt is born of fear, and fear is faith in reverse. It is belief in lack rather than supply, confidence in failure rather than success. Doubt whispers, what if it does not work? What if I fail? What if the promise is false? These questions scatter the energy of creation, for the universe does not argue, it simply mirrors. If one decrees uncertainty, life reflects uncertainty. If one decrees lack, life reflects lack. Scarcity is not the absence of supply but the presence of doubt. Conviction is not blind stubbornness but alignment with truth. It declares, I know supply is mine. I know abundance flows to me now. I know the law cannot fail. These words multiply because they carry the vibration of certainty, and certainty is irresistible to spirit. The one who doubts lives as though tossed by the sea, driven and unsettled, hoping in one moment and fearing in the next. They speak a decree, then cancel it with hesitation, then speak again, only to doubt once more. The law is precise, and it cannot magnify divided energy. But the one who is convicted, the one who holds fast without wavering, sees doors open, channels multiply, and provision appear in astonishing ways. Conviction has magnetic force, it gathers opportunities, ideas, and people. It pulls abundance into visibility, as though the whole universe were conspiring to fulfill the decree. Words spoken with conviction carry a different weight, a different tone, a different vibration. Even the body feels it. The voice becomes firm, the heart steady, the mind clear. It is not the loudness of the word, but the certainty behind it that moves mountains. A whisper of conviction has more power than a shout of doubt. When one says, "I have wealth, I have supply. I am rich in every good way." With conviction, the unseen substance arranges itself immediately, setting in motion countless channels that will bring the word into form. The conviction is the command, and abundance is its answer. Doubt scatters because it withdraws the command. It is like a king who issues an order and then cancels it, leaving his servants in confusion. Conviction multiplies because it repeats the same command until it is fulfilled, leaving no room for contradiction. The law of spirit is loyal, but it must have clarity. It cannot serve two masters, faith and fear, abundance and lack. It magnifies the one that is spoken with conviction, whether for good or ill. This is why words of complaint carry power to create scarcity, while words of gratitude carry power to create overflow. Each is a decree, each honored by the law, each multiplied by conviction. Conviction does not deny appearances, it transcends them. It looks lack in the face and declares plenty. It sees the empty purse and says, "This purse is filled with divine supply." It observes the unpaid bill and says, "This bill is paid in full." Doubt sees the same appearances and says, "There is not enough, it is impossible, I will fail." Thus, conviction multiplies abundance, and doubt multiplies scarcity. The outer world is not the cause but the effect, and the effect always follows the inner decree. When conviction is cultivated, abundance becomes natural. One no longer waits for evidence before speaking the word. One speaks the word and allows the evidence to appear. Faith-filled conviction creates momentum, and momentum becomes multiplication. Small streams widen into rivers, and rivers merge into oceans. Opportunities grow into enterprises, and enterprises expand into wealth. Conviction multiplies because it does not scatter its energy on fear or contradiction. It holds the vision steady until it becomes reality. Doubt scatters by dispersing focus. Conviction multiplies by concentrating it. A magnifying glass gathers sunlight into a single point and sets fire to the object beneath it. In the same way, conviction gathers the infinite power of spirit into a single decree, and that decree sets fire to the field of supply, causing it to burst forth with harvest. Doubt, however, lets the rays scatter, producing only weak warmth but never fire. Conviction ignites, and once ignited, abundance spreads in ever-widening circles. Every story of increase can be traced to conviction. Those who held fast to their decree, even when appearances shouted the opposite, saw wealth arrive in unexpected channels. Those who doubted hesitated, and contradicted their own words saw only fragments, delayed returns, and scattered results. The law was never absent. It was simply following the vibration given to it. Conviction gives a straight line, and the supply flows in straight channels. Doubt gives a crooked line, and the supply stumbles, falters, and scatters into nothingness. Conviction is power because it is unity. The mind, the heart, the lips are in agreement, and that agreement creates harmony with the infinite. Harmony always multiplies. Disharmony always diminishes. To cultivate conviction is to speak abundance with unwavering assurance, to bless money as it comes and as it goes, to declare wealth not as a distant dream, but as a present reality. Conviction does not wonder whether the law will work. It knows the law is already working. Conviction multiplies abundance because it is aligned with the truth that abundance is eternal, present, and available to all who claim it rightly. The word is seed, the harvest inevitable. Every utterance that leaves the lips is not lost in the air, but planted in the unseen soil of life, where it takes root, germinates, and produces after its kind. Words are never idle, never without effect, never empty. They carry the blueprint of the thing they describe. And once released, they sink into the fertile substance of spirit, drawing to themselves the conditions, people, and circumstances necessary to bring forth their fruit. A farmer may sow a handful of corn and expect corn to appear. He does not expect thorns, nor does he fear that nothing will come. He knows the soil honors the seed without question. The same law applies to words, for words are spiritual seeds, and spirit is the eternal soil that receives them. The law is impartial, it multiplies whatever is planted. If the lips scatter seeds of fear, complaint, and lack, the harvest will mirror those very qualities. Scarcity is not an accident, it is the fruit of words spoken in ignorance. Fear is not a mystery, it is the return of words soaked in worry. Confusion is not random, it is the reflection of careless declarations. Yet when the lips scatter seeds of faith, gratitude, and abundance, the harvest comes rich with supply, flowing with opportunities, and overflowing with increase. The soil does not discriminate between weeds and wheat, it simply grows whatever seed is placed within it. The wise one therefore guards the tongue as a farmer guards his fields, sowing only that which he wishes to reap. The inevitability of the harvest is both promise and warning. For those who speak in alignment with truth, it is a promise that their word cannot return void, that their decree must bear fruit, that their spoken abundance must appear in form. For those who speak carelessly, it is a warning that idle complaints and fearful mutterings also bear fruit, though bitter. This is why discipline of speech is the foundation of mastery. To speak deliberately, consciously, and faithfully is to sow the seeds of plenty. To speak recklessly is to invite a harvest one does not desire. Every life is the field of its own words, and the field cannot lie. The word as seed carries within it the exact pattern of its manifestation. Just as the oak lies hidden in the acorn, so does wealth lie hidden in the decree of wealth, health in the decree of health, peace in the decree of peace. Once planted, the seed draws unseen forces to itself. Rain comes, sun comes, soil nourishes, roots form, and the seed rises into visible growth. The decree does the same. Once spoken, it calls opportunities, ideas, and people to serve its unfolding. One decree of prosperity may summon a new business, a favorable connection, an inspired idea, or an unexpected channel. The decree does not dictate the method, it only plants the essence. The soil of spirit decides the how, and the how is always perfect. The inevitability of harvest means there is no need to strain or to doubt. A farmer does not stare at the earth, wondering if the seed will sprout. He trusts the law, knowing that growth is certain. Likewise, the one who speaks the word in faith does not anxiously search for immediate results. He knows the word is working unseen beneath the surface. He blesses the soil, waters it with gratitude, and waits with calm assurance for the green shoot to appear. To worry is to uproot the seed. To trust is to let it flourish. The law of spirit is as precise as the law of nature's, seed time and harvest, word and manifestation, cause and effect. Words are not mere sounds but living vibrations. They are clothed in tone, infused with intention, and carried on breath, the very breath of spirit itself. Each word leaves an imprint on the invisible substance of life, and that imprint gathers like unto itself. A declaration of abundance vibrates in harmony with the infinite storehouse, and that harmony attracts abundance. A declaration of poverty vibrates in disharmony, and that dissonance attracts scarcity. The soil does not judge the vibration, it simply produces its likeness. Thus, the one who speaks wisely sows abundance into his own future, while the one who speaks carelessly sows obstacles into his own path. The word as seed teaches patience as well as discipline. Seeds do not bear fruit instantly, they require gestation. So it is with decrees. A spoken word of prosperity may take time to unfold in the visible, not because the law delays, but because the channels are being arranged, the soil is at work, and the conditions are ripening. Impatience is the cry of doubt that digs up the seed too soon. Patience is the calm knowing that the harvest is certain. The one who waits in faith finds the harvest rich and abundant, for the soil has had time to perfect its work. The inevitability of the harvest also means that multiplication is natural. A single seed does not return a single seed, it returns a field of seeds. A single word of abundance does not return a single coin, it opens streams of income, channels of increase, doors of opportunity, and flows of wealth. The law of multiplication is built into the seed. The decree spoken in faith multiplies beyond measure, because spirit is infinite and knows no limitation. Just as one apple seed produces trees that go on producing countless apples, so does one word of prosperity produce avenues of wealth that continue to multiply. Because the harvest is inevitable, gratitude becomes the proper response even before the visible appears. The farmer thanks the soil before he sees the sprout, for he knows the law. The one who speaks in faith thanks the universe before he sees the form, for he knows the word has taken root. Gratitude waters the seed, hastens the growth, and prepares the heart to receive. Doubt dries the soil, but gratitude nourishes it. The word as seed, joined with gratitude, ensures the harvest will be not only inevitable but overflowing. Every man and woman lives in a garden of their own words. Some walk in fields of weeds, wondering why life resists them, never realizing they themselves planted the thorns. Others walk in gardens of fruit, plucking blessings from every branch, living in ease, and multiplying in peace. The difference lies not in fate but in speech. The tongue is the sower, the heart the planter, the universe the soil, and life the harvest. To change the harvest, one must change the seed, and the seed is always the word. The word is seed, the harvest inevitable. Whether spoken in faith or fear, gratitude or complaint, blessing or cursing, the law responds without fail. It is the great impartial gardener, growing all that is sown. To understand this is to awaken to the power of the lips, to speak deliberately, to decree consciously, to sow only that which one wishes to reap. For every word is a seed, and every seed brings forth its harvest in due season.
Beloved ones, before you seek the flow of money, seek first the understanding of divine energy. For all things seen are born from the unseen. Every coin, every note, every opportunity you hold has first existed in the invisible realm of spirit. And what you call money, the world of spirit calls divine supply. You were never meant to struggle for it, chase it, or fear it. You were meant to align with it. For money, like breath, like sunlight, like love itself, is simply another form of God's energy in circulation. The mind of man has created division, calling some things spiritual and others material. But there is no separation in divine law. All is spirit. The difference lies only in consciousness. One who sees money as material will serve it. One who sees it as divine will command it. The world has taught many to say, "I need money." But heaven whispers instead, "You are money in expression." Because every thought, every intention, every word you speak is a current, an electrical vibration that moves through the unseen world and draws its physical reflection to you. When you understand this truth, you stop asking, "Where is my money?" and begin asking, "Where is my faith?" For faith is the magnet of every manifestation. It is the open gate through which divine energy flows into visible form. You are never in lack. You are only in unawareness. The river of supply has never stopped flowing. It is your doubt that has built the dam. The moment you remember that God is your source and money is His messenger, your whole vibration changes. You no longer see money as a struggle, but as a servant of divine intention. Say silently within yourself, "Divine substance is my supply. It flows to me freely, richly, and constantly. Nothing and no one can withhold what God has ordained for me." As you speak those words, feel the shift. You begin to see that abundance is not something you must earn. It is something you must awaken to. The same infinite intelligence that created galaxies also governs your finances. The same spirit that gave life to stars is breathing through every opportunity in your path. Beloved, money is not outside of you. It is a reflection of your inner energy. When your heart is heavy, your flow slows. When your spirit rejoices, your flow multiplies. Because the universe is not responding to your need. It is responding to your belief. Every time you say, "I can afford this," the law of increase awakens. Every time you say, I cannot, the law of limitation obeys. For every word you speak is a command to the universe. You are the vessel through which divine money energy flows. Your gratitude opens the valve. Your fear closes it. And your faith keeps it running endlessly, effortlessly, infinitely. So today, as you listen, I want you to forget the idea that money is a problem. Forget the stories that tell you it is scarce or evil. Forget the fear that you must work yourself to exhaustion to earn it. Instead, remember this money is God in motion. It is the physical echo of your spiritual belief in supply. Breathe in slowly and affirms. The substance of the universe is alive with prosperity. It moves toward me now, through divine law, in perfect peace. And now that your mind is still, your heart is open, and your vibration is aligned. Let us step into the deeper revelation of this truth. Money is an alive energy. There is a secret most people never learn. Money is not dead paper. It is not a number in your account. It is not something you chase or beg for. Money is alive energy, a divine current that flows through the same spiritual substance that created you. When you see money as something separate from you, you block its natural flow. But the moment you awaken to the truth that you and money are one in the same field of divine abundance, you begin to magnetize it without effort, without strain, without fear. Money responds to recognition. It moves toward those who understand its divine nature. It is not the banknote that carries power. It is the belief that gives it life. The same way your breath is invisible but keeps you alive, the energy of money is unseen yet ever present, circulating, multiplying, expanding. When you think of money with love, gratitude, and faith, you open the invisible gates of supply. But when you think of it with fear, anxiety, or doubt, you shut them. The universe never withholds. The law never delays. It is the mind of man that delays his good by focusing on absence instead of abundance. The moment you remember that the substance of money is God's energy in motion, you step into alignment with the infinite supply that never runs dry. I say to you, hold a dollar bill in your hand. Feel it. Close your eyes and whisper, you are not paper. You are energy. You are life. You are divine supply in visible form. When you speak these words with conviction, you charge that currency with faith. You awaken the living law within it. You declare, money, you are not my master. You are my servant. You flow freely through me, multiplying under grace and in perfect ways. This is the secret. Money is a living vibration that listens to your tone. When you speak in fear, it hides. When you speak in gratitude, it dances. When you bless it, it multiplies. You can never run out of money, because you can never run out of energy. The more love and faith you give to this divine current, the more it gives back. Tenfold, hundredfold, infinitely. Say with me, I now recognize money as divine, living energy. I am a perfect channel for its flow. It moves to me, through me, and around me, endlessly, effortlessly, and abundantly. Feel those words vibrate within you. Because the moment you speak them, you begin to magnetize all forms of prosperity. Not just cash, but ideas, opportunities, and helpers who carry your blessings toward you. Remember this divine truth: money is not earned. It is allowed. You allow it by thinking thoughts of supply, by blessing what you have, by giving thanks before receiving. The act of gratitude is your magnet. The act of fear is your block. So never again say, I don't have money. Instead say, money is alive. It hears me. It recognizes my faith and multiplies under divine law. For the universe does not respond to lack. It responds to awareness. And when your awareness shifts, your life shifts. The law of money is the same as the law of love. What you bless increases. What you fear disappears. What you ignore withers. But what you honor grows beyond measure. Money is not against you. It is for you. It longs to serve you, to build through you, to move through your hands as a blessing to the world. You are not chasing wealth. You are awakening to it. It has always been here, waiting for your recognition. So today, affirm with a heart full of faith, money, you are divine substance. You are alive with God's power. I welcome you with joy. I use you with wisdom. You multiply under grace and in perfect monies. And so it is. Because when you treat money as sacred energy, it becomes your silent partner, your divine ally, your faithful friend. It follows your peace, not your panic. It reflects your faith, not your fear. Money is alive. It listens. It obeys the vibration of your belief. And the one who walks in truth never walks in lack. I am one with the infinite supply of the universe. Money is divine energy flowing to me now. Every dollar I touch is blessed, multiplied, and magnetized by love. I do not chase money. I attract it through divine alignment. Money recognizes my vibration of peace and flows to me effortlessly. Every time I spend, I bless the money, and it returns multiplied. The universe responds instantly to my faith in abundance. I am a magnet for opportunities, prosperity, and divine wealth. Money serves me as I serve divine purpose. I honor money as sacred energy, and it honors me with endless flow. I am connected to the source of infinite riches. I now receive money easily, frequently, and in ever-increasing amounts. Divine substance takes form through me now, under grace and in perfect ways. I am never in lack, for God is my supply. My every need is met instantly and abundantly. Money is alive, conscious, and joyfully obeys my faith-filled words. I bless money coming in and I bless money going out. I am surrounded by divine opportunities. I am free. I am abundant. I am prosperous. And so it is. Money is divine substance in motion. I am one with the flow of infinite supply. Every dollar that comes to me is blessed by divine love. Every dollar that leaves me returns multiplied and purified. I am never in lack, for God is my unfailing source. The substance of the universe is abundant, inexhaustible, and alive. Money recognizes my faith and flows toward me with ease. I now release all fear around money. I welcome abundance as my natural birthright. I am open to receive money in expected and unexpected ways. My words are magnets for divine prosperity. Every thought I think plants seeds of financial increase. I bless my bills, for they represent the circulation of good. I am in perfect harmony with the vibration of wealth. I see money as energy, and energy obeys my belief. I speak abundance. I attract abundance. Money loves me because I love it with purity and purpose. I am divinely guided in every financial decision. The law of compensation is now working in my favor. I forgive all past mistakes about money. My finances are healed under grace and in perfect ways. Money comes to me easily, frequently, and abundantly. I am grateful for the prosperity that surrounds me. My wallet, my bank account, and my hands overflow with divine supply. The riches of the universe are drawn to me effortlessly. I am aligned with the energy of expansion. Everything I touch prospers. I radiate wealth, peace, and purpose. I spend money with joy and it returns multiplied. My wealth is a blessing to me and to the world. Divine ideas constantly create channels of income for me. I am worthy of luxury, comfort, and ease. My financial life is a reflection of divine order. The energy of money flows freely through my life. Money is my servant, I am its wise steward. Every cell in my body vibrates with prosperity. I release all scarcity from my consciousness. I attract clients, opportunities, and miracles with grace. The more I give, the more I receive. My giving is blessed and my receiving is multiplied. Divine substance now takes form as wealth in my hands. I am thankful for the abundance that is already mine. My words are commands that create riches. I trust divine timing in all financial matters. Money is not hard to get. It is my natural companion. Every breath I take aligns me with abundance. Prosperity surrounds me, fills me, and expresses through me. The river of money never stops flowing. I am calm, confident, and certain of my wealth. God's wealth circulates through me constantly. I have more than enough to bless others. I am the embodiment of divine prosperity. My mind is magnetized with thoughts of success. Every act of gratitude increases my flow. I am financially free, emotionally peaceful, and spiritually rich. The universe delights in prospering me. I honor my money, and money honors me. Money is light, love, and life in motion. I am surrounded by divine opportunities for increase. Wealth is not something I chase. It is something I remember I already am. I am guided to right actions that lead to abundance. I release competition and choose divine completion. Money is attracted to my joy, not my effort. I am an open vessel for wealth and miracles. Every door I walk through opens into prosperity. I am thankful for new streams of income now forming for me. My savings, my business, and my work are all blessed by divine law. I deserve abundance because I am a child of the infinite. The more peace I hold, the more prosperity flows. I am the living expression of wealth made visible. Money flows to me now, under grace, in perfect ways. I bless all those who prosper, and their prosperity blesses me. I live in a sea of abundance, and I am never without supply. My prosperity uplifts the vibration of the world. The divine source never fails me. Money is alive, aware, and responsive to my faith, and so it is.